Hello, welcome. Happy Friday to each and everyone. Welcome to another Friday with Mystic Sensation. Your host Byron and Anne Marie. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy Friday to those in television land. Happy Friday to our silent viewers. Happy Friday to those in the chat. Welcome, everyone. Really appreciate each and everyone joining in. And remember, when you come in, thumbs up the live, share us out. And if you are new to the channel, please show some support by subscribing. It will be greatly appreciated. And I just want to say happy Mother's Day weekend to each and every mother out there. Mother's Day is going to be Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to you all when it comes. Happy Mother's Day also to those fathers who are playing the motherly role. And happy Mother's Day to also those single mothers out there who are being both mothers and fathers. The struggle is real, but at the end of the day, it will be worth it. So happy Mother's Day to each and every one. And all the kids out there, please make sure you show mom some extra special love on Mother's Day. All right. So big up yourself, each and every mother out there. So welcome those in the chat. Truck Life, welcome. Happy Friday. And happy happy Mother's Day to Sunshine. Also to Tiffany and Tammy. They're new mothers. So happy Mother's Day to you guys. And Truck Life is saying, happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Ann. Thank you so much, Truck Life. Really appreciate it. Truck Life say, happy Mother's Day, Mr. Baron. What kind of number 3 that you have on?
All right, Truck Life, you know it go.
Good night, Miss Yvonne. Saying to each and everyone in Jesus' name, amen. Good night. Thank you so much, Miss Yvonne. Welcome. And also in the chat, we have Straight Up. Welcome, Straight Up, saying ready and waiting. Also have Robert.
All right.
Welcome, Robert. Thank you so much for joining in. And tonight's topic is Jamaica for sale. Going once, going twice. Has the bevel been dropped yet?
Okay.
Or the auction is still going on. So thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I am just going to do some housekeeping as usual, and I'm going to turn over to Baron, who is going to be doing the discussions.
Okay, thank you, wifey, for that. Once again, my ardent listeners, it's a pleasure always, right, to meet on a Friday where we can dialogue as always. And you have seen the thumbnail, right, as it relates to does Jamaica, right, up for sales. And of course, we're going to discuss that in length tonight, right, because that is the main topic. However, before we get into that, we'll be going through other topics, right, as it relates to Jamaican issues. Now, during the course of this week, right, we have seen some sort of distortion, and the distortion relating to People's National Party internal issues. But Jamaica, what I want to say to us all, that we must not allow ourselves to be distracted from the real issues, right? Whatever internal issues that, you know, the People's National Party are struggling with, I do believe in confidence that that will be self-corrected, right? And of course, internal issues are going to, you know, to happen. It is not new. However, the clear distractions, right, that I have observed and which now proven to be, you know, false, but let me say unequivocally, that where we have journalists, right, covering whatever that they are covering, right, it shouldn't be that journalists are going to be intimidated, because we endorse and believe in freedom of the press, right, where the press can go and investigate and deliver the truthfulness to the matter. However, what was reported as it relates to PNP internal issues, and where the threat of someone mentioned rape, is now proven to be false, right? And so then we can see the efforts of, persons trying to sow the seed of destruction, right? And we see how quick people, what I want for you to observe is how quick certain things have been stated through certain media, right? But when we look on SSL situation, right, we see the level of retention, we see the level of, delayed tactics, and the truth be told, we really don't know if there's an active investigation is going on into SSL as it relates to crawl. So then we are not going to be distracted. We are going to maintain our focus, right, and making sure that we seek for good governance, right, honesty and integrity as it relates to the sole pillar, right, of every good government. And so we are not going to be distracted, right? We have seen several things been happening now. We have seen that teachers and other civil workers merely getting raised between 4 to 6%. And we have seen the judges, right, have now received, right, more than 100% to their salary. And I am wondering, how does that look as it relates to justice, right? And is there a reason for that? And I'm going to give some warning where that is. I think my wingman is on, right? So everything is good with that. So then what we are going to discuss is to just show a clip as it relates to the judges' increase. And then we are going to discuss that, because what is significantly important, this is important as it relates to the topic that I'm going to discuss, right, as it relates to asking the question, does Jamaica sold? And so then when we see that sort of situation, we have to ask the question as it relates to if Jamaica government is keeping good fiscal discipline. Because we have seen, right, the judges have received over 100% raise. And prior to that, the government, was explaining the difficulty in terms of meeting other civil workers as it relates to 4 and 6% raise. And then I think that, okay, might be the government want to, make sure that they stay on their debt payment trajectory, right, and maintain, right, a good discipline in terms of and good trajectory in paying back certain debt. So let us play this clip as it relates to the judges receiving such an increase, and then we are going to discuss it, of course. All right.
Okay, so again, welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Welcome to those over on Facebook. Happy Friday to each and every one. Okay, so I am just going to go ahead and share the screen.
Judges are set to receive a pay increase, costing the government roughly $1.8 billion. The finance minister made the announcement in the House today, which is in keeping with the new public sector compensation regime. So, what are the new salaries? Andrea Chisholm has the details.
As of April 2023, the salary of the Chief Justice will move to roughly $28.8 million per year. In April 2021, the salary minus allowances was roughly $12.3 million per year. For a senior puisne judge, the new salary is a little over $21.9 million. In 2021, it was over almost $9.9 million. The salary for a puisne judge as of April 2023 is over $20.8 million for the year. In April 2021, the annual salary for a puisne judge was over $9.5 million. Now to the Court of Appeal. As of April 2023, the annual salary for the President of the Court of Appeal is over $26.2 million. In April 2021, minus allowances, it was over $12.3 million. A judge of the Court of Appeal will make over $23.8 million as of April 2023, and it was over $10.8 million in 2021. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said that for the 2021-2022 fiscal year, the salary of judges increased by 6%. For the fiscal years ending 2023 and 2024, the increases were in line with the proposals from the Independent Commission. All allowances, excepting housing and security, were incorporated into the basic salaries.
I wish to remind the House, Madam Speaker, and the public of the scholarly independence required of members of the judiciary, in addition to the requirement that they lead lives of restraint, such that they retain a steely imperviousness to undue influence from any quarter. Furthermore, unlike public servants and politicians, they are forbidden from working in Jamaica in their field of training, which is the law, upon retirement. These factors, Madam Speaker, I am sure would have influenced the Independent Commission in recommending these compensation levels for members of the judiciary.
In the meantime, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck said the revised salaries for judges would make them the best paid in the Caribbean.
I would just like to report to the House that only today I have appointed the same members, the Independent Commission for the Judiciary, to consider the parish court judge's salary, which they will get from the 1st of April this year. And Madam Speaker, believe me, so far, as I said last week, the parish court judges are now operating at world standard.
The members of the 2022 Independent Commission are Leighton McKnight, Chairman, Mina Israel, and Michelle Robinson. The regulation.
Okay. So, my ardent listeners, this is where my blood is boiling. And this is where the seriousness, right, of tonight's discussion really begins. Number one, Nigel Clark. I start to believe that every single word that comes out of the mouth of Nigel Clark, is just simply a lie. I start to believe that Nigel Clark is now a diabolical liar. Why you said that? If we look between the period as it relates to the raises, right? And where Nigel Clark is claiming that, okay, it's a 6% raise. That's a blatant lie right here. That's definitely a blatant lie right there. Right? Nigel Clark, who once stated that FBI was investigating SSL, we found out that that is lie. Now he claimed that, okay, the figures that we have seen between 2021 and 2023 are 2 years, right, increased to the judges, right, is more than 100% increase, right? Anyone can look on the figure. It's very simple. Their salary has been doubled. So right in the face of all Jamaicans addressing, right, the populace, Nigel Clark stood up in the parliament and blatantly lie and want to defend his position. Now again, what I want to ask Nigel Clark as his reason to have given that substantial raise is to say, okay, they're forbidden by law, right, upon retirement for them, right, to practice. Now, I want to ask a question. Are these I want to ask Nigel Clark this question. Are these judges will be getting a pension?
But are they not going to be getting a pension?
Are they not going to be getting a pension after they retire? So then, what is the justification, right, for such hike and then fail to honor, right, our ordinary civil workers like teachers, police, fire service, and so forth, right? So that is totally unreasonable. So then let me shift to Delroy Chuck. And this is where my blood is definitely boiling. Delroy Chuck seems like he's celebrating a victory to say that our judges are getting the highest paid in the Caribbean. Jamaican people, it goes back to prove my point. These are political monsters and vampires that have no sympathy for the poor. Who is going to pay all of these increases? Taxpayers. Let me let this know to Delroy Chuck, and I want to ask Delroy Chuck some questions. Since Delroy Chuck seems to be bragging that our judges, right, will be getting such fancy increases, I want to ask Delroy Chuck if Jamaica economy can sustain that. Because while Delroy Chuck is bragging, right, these are the questions that I want to ask Delroy Chuck.
There's a question here from Arthur, and I think it's
okay. Arthur said, so is Marlene Malawu Fort breaking the law? She's a farmer. There you go. So Nigel Clark, you understand, based on what he said, that it is forbidden. But here we have Marlene Malawu Fort quote as according to Arthur Phillips, which is right. So then, something has to pursue in terms of that understanding, right? Because that is just ridiculous. Stephen Makalaski, I hope I'm not spoiling your name. What is the justification for judges to make 26 million? Are you all crazy? You don't have poor, starving people in Jamaica? That's a perfect question, sir. That's a perfect, and that's my point. If the Jamaican economy, right, can afford this, number one, sir, let me say this. We have, right, a debt burden, a substantial debt burden, right, as it relates to China. So let me just open Jamaican eye. The overall total that we owe to China is roughly about 3.6 billion US dollars, which 760 million of that was used to construct the highways, right? Now, 760 million US dollars to IMF. So I am wondering,
1.7 trillion.
I am wondering, right, if Nigel Clark is taking all of these things in consideration, knowing to the fact that inflation is crippling the Jamaican society. And all of that, this is, trust me, this is just unbelievable. Right? Now, let me ask Delroy Chuck, since you want to brag Delroy Chuck, that, okay, Jamaica is paying the judge, right, the best salary in the Caribbean. The question to you, Mr. Delroy Chuck, does Jamaica has the best economy in the Caribbean in comparison to those other Caribbean countries? This is what you need to come out and tell the people, right? Is Jamaica doing better than Trinidad and Tobago? No, they are not doing better than Trinidad and Tobago. And Jamaica judges are getting paid more than Trinidad and Tobago judge. Trinidad and Tobago economy is far way better than us. You need to understand that, Delroy Chuck. So let me ask another question. Is Cayman paying their judges as what the new salary for these judges? No. Is Jamaica economy better than Cayman? No. Right? Barbados. Is Jamaica economy better than Barbados? No. Bermuda. Is Jamaica economy is better than Bermuda? The answer is no. But what you politicians are doing is making sure that you are suppressing the poor. You are beating them down in the ground every single second and minute that you have. So all of this burden, amidst what the Jamaican people are going through with struggling with such high inflation, you are going to take the burden of those increases and said, look here, you people who don't go through nothing yet, who don't hold them burden, add them burden to what you have. Delroy Chuck, you is a wicked piece of vampire. The Jamaica Labour Party government they are blood suckers. But apart from that, is there a sinister reason why the Jamaica Labour Party are ensuring that they're hiking up these judges? Because guess what? Let me warn. Each time I come here on this channel and I speak about SSL, don't think that these salaries that these judges are getting, that is going to allow them to judicially malign themselves. Because as we said, that the PNP, being the successive government, will be asking the People's National Party to reinvestigate SSL. I am not saying that is what you are doing, but I am just saying that regardless of the salary increase, let me put it out there, right? I hope that these judges will not judicially malign themselves, right? Because trust me, and let me say this before I even discuss our main topic and give some hints to the main topic. Andrew Holness' government need to limit their greed from the region of the Cockpit Mountain. Let me warn this again. Andrew Holness' government need to limit their greed to the Cockpit Mountain. because that is where, right, the point is going to break. That is where the bird is going to break, because China should not interfere with the cockpit. Let me warn that and make that clear. Let me warn that. Here Stephen said, Supreme Court justice in the USA getting under 300,000. Look at that.
And that is Supreme Court.
Right? And that is a far way better economy than us. And yet, right, we are struggling under China debt burden and the IMF debt burden. Right? And where our GDP, gross domestic produce, we are not producing as much. And so then, in spite of all of that, Andrew Holness government putting the pressure on poor people back. So then Arthur Phillips said, so how much increase is he going to give the politicians?
Paving the way for that.
Arthur, I love that question, because that was where I was going to go next. You know. So for him to be putting increases like that onto the judge, so now we are anticipating that politicians, members of parliament, pay are going to be doubled up as well, more than 100% increase. Is that the situation, Mr. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark? Is that where you are going? Adding more pressure to Jamaican tax. They don't want to love and care for poor people. Just imagine that the people who voted for you mostly, which they are poor people, those are the people that you're stepping on, trampling on them. I mean, we are paying and bragging as it relates to Delroy Chuck. I can't believe that he doesn't have a conscience. He's bragging that we in Jamaica are paying our judge the highest. What is that to brag about? So indirectly, right? And I want to ask some more questions. We have no good health system, right? The right truck, you need to understand that. Our health system is not good. Poor road conditions during road communities. You need to understand that. High crime rate that Jamaicans are struggling with in comparison to other Caribbean, Delroy Chuck, you need to understand that. Low employment rate that is crippling Jamaica, Delroy Chuck, you need to understand that. Education that the masses cannot afford, Delroy Chuck, you need to understand that. You are acting as if you have all these issues resolved, and it is a proud thing now for you to announce that, okay, Jamaica is on the forward movements because we are the government is now making education more affordable. Okay, you're acting as if we have good road infrastructure throughout the communities. You're acting as if, okay, most of our bridges that reported right to be damaged being fixed. You're acting as if now the crime rate, you understand, is reducing, right? What is proud of? You're proud to suppress us? You're proud to suppress your people? You're so much proud to tax your Jamaican people. You understand? Beyond the limits. The truth with the matter is that the Jamaican people, right, cannot afford it. This economy cannot afford it. Crippling with China debt burden, IMF debt burden, and all of that. Inflation is killing the people. And plus, this country is not showing any form of fiscal discipline as it relates to from 1972, since we have been taking loans from China, if people don't know that. I have done the research, and I plan to come out tonight from 1972, but I'm going to leave that until we get into the main topic. All right? So I just don't want to, roll out my main topic. I'm going to expose some things here. So then, you can go and pay the judge and double up the judge and brags about it and blah, blah, blah. You must know why you are doing it. But as I said, and then let me give a next thing. This government is rushing for Jamaica to become republic. Now, that's another question that I want to ask as it relates to under this democratic regime that we have, right? And where the cockpit mountain, right, is protected, right, by law and by treaty, when you have this country, and that's why I said people must not allow the Jamaica Labour Party to take us in republic, and I am very serious with that. I am very, very serious with that. If Nigel Clark can stand up in the parliament and blatantly lie, telling us about 6%, right? As if he's dealing with some, I don't know, some people who don't have any brains at all. That is how Nigel Clark look on Jamaican people. I don't know what his PhD is telling him.
His algorithms.
Right? And my wife said his algorithm. But this is madness. This is madness. And so then, when we look at that, we want to know, as it relates to going republic, how are they going to deal with the cockpit region? Because that is going to be a tricky one. And Mystic Sensation is looking on that. Because if you believe that you are going to ease private sectors in the cockpit mountain and destroy our natural habitat, right? Because we know what China is about. And so then let me leave it, because it seems like I want to go into the topic before time. So let me leave that until we reach the topic. So Stephen said, no new taxes. Are you kidding? You believe this candy-coated talk at election time. Exactly. But guess what, Mr. Stephen? Make them know, Mr. Stephen, that Mystic Sensation is here. Other channels are here that are blazing the fire, and we are going to expose them. Arthur Phillips, cockpit done already, Mystic. All right, we soon find out something. We are going to night, Arthur. We are going to night. All right. So then, that is that as it relates to Nigel Clark, right? Because, I mean, every word that comes out on Nigel Clark mouth, you understand, is a lie. He's a deceiver. Don't let him deceive you. And that's why we are going to stay focused with our mission. Stay focused with our mission. All right. So, we are going to go into something because, you know what, people? I have seen Darrell Vaz, right? Beating him chest as if to say him control the entire Portland. And I start to think that not only Darrell Vaz alone, but other politicians believe that whenever they do something, right, in their constituency, it seems like they are saying to themselves, are telling the people that, okay, it is me who personally do this for you. Or they are doing them a favor. Darrell Vaz, let me tell you something, and let me tell you, every politician who think the way there, you are working for the people. The money that you spent in the constituency, road infrastructures or any other infrastructures, it is not your money, sir.
It's the people's money.
It is the people's money. And Jamaica, let me tell you something. I want you to have a paradigm shift, because it seems like you're looking at these politicians as gods. These politicians, Jamaicans, they are working for you. They are working for us. They are our servants. They have been there as a result of an electoral process. So we elect them, we hire them, and we are going to fire them. So when you look at a politician, and whatever work a politician do, from Desmond Mackenzie to the whole of them who they behave like say, you understand, they are doing things for the people. You member of parliament, you have to understand that you are working for the people. And the reason for us to vote for you, because you come to us and promise us that you are going to do this, you are going to do that. Arthur Phillips, they act that way because the people see them as demigods. Exactly, Arthur. And so then they start to have this entitlement that, okay, all right, me do this, so no must vote for me, and I mean run yourself, because that is Darrell Vaz behavior. Honestly, that is Darrell Vaz behavior. That is the sort of condescending behavior I am getting from Darrell Vaz. Me run Portland. You don't run no boss. The only place you run is your home. You should have no extra influence over people than what you been elected to do. And guess what? When we elect you to perform and you're not performing, you should be fired. How long the people are going through certain issues there? You should have been taught a lesson and be fired. The next general election, right? So for non-performance politicians, people need to wake up. You have a politician in your constituency for much years, and you don't have water, you don't have good road, you don't have good health system, and yet you are dieted. And yet you are dieted. This is totally ridiculous. So I am going to show you how disingenuous Darrell Vaz is. But before I do that, let me just give you a little summary so you can understand where I'm going with that, because I like to explain in detail to my people. Stephen said, you let them become like kings and nobles of the 1500s, which is true. Now, let me tell you something. Jamaica, if you notice, the Jamaica Labour Party at this time will stop at nothing to get rid of the Integrity Commission as it relates to Get Christie. Because it's simply, Get Christie is really an honorable person. Now, I heard Delroy Chuck was explaining as it relates to how MP should involve in certain contracts, you understand, to be awarded, and that certain recommendation. Now, people, I am going to make we all read the procurement rules and tabulate what the procurement rules stated. The fact of the matter, the Integrity Commission Act, you understand, was well passed in Parliament, you understand, by both members of Parliament as it relates to JLP and PNP. They agreed on that and passed it in law. You understand? So then it has been established by them. But then they want to now break the law as it interpreted by Greg Christie and executed by Greg Christie accordingly. And so then here is Darrell Vaz now try to justify, you understand, breaking the procurement rules. But before we go in there, I am going to put up the policy. Wife, we will be reading the policy for us to understand clear what the procurement rule says as opposed to me just talking. I want all of my listeners to understand what the procurement rule says and see clearly where Darrell Vaz want to break the procurement rules. So, honey, without any hesitation, just play the put up that clip. Document.
Okay. Again, welcome each and everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Welcome to those who are just joining. And I forgot to say Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers, and also it is Nurses Week. So happy Nurses Week to all the nurses. Thank you so much for your undaunted service. I'm sure that the entire public appreciate each and every one of you, teachers and nurses. You've been doing a very good job, and especially for teachers who taught all these judges and everybody else,
Yes.
and yet getting a very raw deal.
And deserve a very good pay.
They deserve the 133% that the judges are getting.
Exactly.
Procurement. Okay, let me just make sure that it's sharing properly. Okay.
Yes, so we are sharing the document for all to read it.
All right, so the procurement policy. The Government of Jamaica, under the authority of the Cabinet, hereby promulgates public sector procurement policy in acquisition of goods, works, and services with the objectives of maximizing economy and efficiency in procurement. Number 2, fairness, integrity, and public confidence in the procurement process. 3, sustainable development through minimizing negative impact on the environment. And 4, fostering national growth and development. In pursuit of these objectives, the Government of Jamaica shall ensure that public sector procurement policies applies to all procurement by public sector entities, including central government ministries and departments, local government authorities, statutory bodies, executive agencies, public enterprises, and any other government entity in which Government of Jamaica owns majority share and or otherwise exercises control over the operations of the entity, including an entity acting on behalf of the government. As far as consistent with the objectives of the policy, public sector procurement activities shall be conducted fairly, allowing for equal treatment of suppliers.
Okay.
In the fairness aspect of it, it says good procurement is impartial, consistent, and therefore reliable.
Exactly.
It offers all interested suppliers, contractors, and consultants a level playing field on which to compete and thereby directly expand the Government of Jamaica's options and opportunities.
Remove that document. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you understand what the procurement rule is. So we are going to back up a little bit before we touch Darrell Vaz and play Darrell Vaz and show you what Darrell Vaz is saying. Now, the procurement rule exists for the particular reason as it relates to what Andrew Holness charged for. In the procurement rule, it speaks of fairness, that a contract must displayed, you understand, in a fair way as it relates to suppliers and persons who are bidding on that contract. Now remember, as it relates to what the Integrity Commission found out, that Andrew Holness set up 5 companies that belonging to Andrew Holness, right? And put Gavin as director, right? And solicit contract from the government. You understand? And what? Possibly overcharge. You understand where the money is going to Andrew Wellness? People, the procurement rule is straightforward. That means he should have never have done that. That's a criminal offense. So Andrew Wellness, in clear view of the procurement rules that I've just shown, breach the law. Big time. Right? Those contracts should put out for public bidding. The procurement rule talk about fairness. The investigation that was carried out by Zara Burton, that I will be showing an extension with Zara, had found out that only one person, you understand, bid on those contracts, which is what? Who? Gavin. So guess what? Other contractors didn't get the chance to bid on it. Andrew wanna set up 5 companies that manage between him and his wife and Gavin. And then is our treasury paying that taxpayers' money, paying that over 28 million. So now people, we show the procurement rule and we show you how Andrew owners come to caught up in that thing and charge. And should be charged. Now, 2 ways about that. The procurement rules there, we just show it and show you what Andrew owners did. Right? And as a matter of fact, in law, it says if you are acquainted or have close association with any of the contractor, he should list that. He should make it known. Andrew Holness did not make that known. So for people who want to bring politics in this, it is clear situation as it relates to what Andrew Holness did. Clear corruption. So let us step in the real vase now. Play the clip.
Okay.
Because Darrell Vaz are defending him, you know. Darrell Vaz are defending him because Darrell Vaz has done the same thing too. Goes to show you how disrespectful these people are to the Jamaican taxpayers and who pay back all of them money there. Jamaican taxpayer. That's why the inflation is like that. Right?
Can't get any better.
As he relished in his contribution to the development of Western Portland, the constituency's Member of Parliament, Darrell Vaz, says MPs being involved in projects is not abnormal. He adds, the practice of MPs making recommendations for contracts has been in place since former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson's administration. This, he says, started when MPs complained that work was being done in their constituency without their knowledge. Using himself as an example, Vaz says from 2007, he has made hundreds of recommendations as it relates to projects.
But by no means have I got involved in the procurement. And if they are not up to standard in relation to meet the procurement requirements and the price, then the best person wins. Most times I don't know that person and I've never heard of them. However, I respect that position.
Vaz notes good MPs are naturally involved in the execution of projects across their constituency.
Not to have any involvement in the execution of projects in my constituency would rule me a lame-duck member of parliament, because I would not be true to the people who elected me, because I would have no say in how to uplift them and how to assist.
As he notes the tendency for state agencies to write to MPs for recommendations, but says if MPs are to respond, they are in breach of the Integrity Commission laws.
Because if I can't do what I'm elected to do, and I'm going to be a member of parliament that has no authority or no ability then I need to think about whether or not I'm wasting my time. And also
People don't hear that? Play back that over again, money. People hear what the advert says?
Calls for the matter to be
Just play back
fundamental.
that little part what he said. Just it back. Yep. People listen again what the advert said.
The people who I represent.
Vaz calls for the matter to be fundamentally addressed. Nasika Aliman reporting for CVM Live.
Never go back far enough. Don't bring it back again.
Okay. So people, close. People, what Darvaz just stated, that him, if he cannot, right, play in the role, right, of, getting people, right, doing those contracts, right, he doesn't feel that he's representing the people well. And he's not doing his work, and he has to value if his time is important in the entire political process. So let me just try to understand what he said. If there is no room where the possibility that, okay, him can get to influence the situation in terms of contract, then he has to question his reason of being in politics. What does Darrell Vaz mean by that? Is politics about hustling or representing the people? And what the meaning of that? Now, when everyone said, Byron, be careful how you're talking. Remember, Kanjo says him now, bad mind poor people for them things. He will say, yeah, bad mind him for his property.
Prosperity.
Prosperity, sorry. All right. Well, him can't say what I want to say. The fine print at the bottom must read, the aforesaid rules may be ignored if there are stars in the sky. Well, all right, I get that. So then, let me ask this question. So then, if there is no gap in the system for you to influence, for your influence to impose on those contracts, you don't find it that it is important for you to be in politics? So then, you're in the politics, you understand, for the hustling ability of the politics. We don't understand that, Darvaz. You need to make that clear, because it seems like that is what you are saying. Because it is not about recommendation. There's nothing in the procurement rule says that members of parliament, right, are not to recommend. So don't try to be disingenuous with us and play a smart game with us. Right? The procurement, you will not breach the procurement rule if you make recommendation. You will breach the procurement rule if you make recommendation and you are influencing the recommendation that you are making. Remember, I know we are not stupid around here. You understand? Don't bother believe that you are the one just, you understand, gifted. You understand, with a level of awareness. We are aware too. So then you have to come clear with us. Right? So the procurement rules didn't speak about you understand, making a recommendation, and that is illegal. Nothing in the procurement rules speak of that. So you know, but I tell the people them like that to say that, okay, if you make recommendation, then you are in problem with the procurement rules. The procurement rules don't mention nothing like that. So you don't try to twist the procurement rules. You understand, and justify your action. Your action, what specifically the procurement rule is speaking about, is if you make recommendations and turn around influencing it, avoiding other contractors, you understand, to go through a fair game in terms of bidding. So then if you recommend your person and you use your influence to make him get contract, that is corruption, that is breach, and that is what they are talking about. And that is exactly what Andrew Holness did. So you must tell the people the reason why you are defending Andrew. Because equally, it appears as if you are corrupted. And if you are in agreement with what Andrew did, then you are corrupted. Because the procurement rule stated specifically, right? Because here are the reasons why you cannot recommend and influence. If you recommend that, fine. Okay, it's okay if you can, you said, well, all right, you know Mr. Byron, and Mr. Byron is a good worker and so forth. Yeah, you can recommend him. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. There's no breach in the procurement rule in that. But if you recommend Mr. Byron and you are using your ministerial power, your ministerial office to influence the SDC to give us some plus, as a matter of fact, sign certain documents yourself in releasing of the contract, that's a clear breach, boss. Don't think people are daft around yourself. That's a clear breach because you surge your influence, you understand, to make your friend get the contract and where your friend can overcharge and then political kickback go under the table and pay you and your pocket. Okay, we are not stupid. The procurement rule exists for that purpose, to avoid that purpose for members of parliament to recommend persons and influence contract to them, and particularly in instances where the Prime Minister owned the companies. So Andrew Holness gone above and beyond in breaking it. Him not just breach.
Him pop it down.
As my wife said, him pop it down, him broke it down. You understand? It's a bare-faced breach. That him breach the procurement rules. And then these are the companies that, okay. So now let me talk to my people them now. And talk up the things them to show you that what we are talking about, we are 100% correct. And we are not propagandizing the Jamaica Labour Party government. So let me say now the next clip, and before I play the next clip, let me give you some leverage of the next clip. I have carried 18 degrees north. Zara Burton, big up yourself, Mrs. Monica. Zara Burton, who is a professional investigator and has done investigation as it relates to for many big name media houses. Zara Burton is well known outside of the boundaries of Jamaica and inside the boundaries of Jamaica. So Zara Burton is a professional journalism investigator, right? Now, when Zara Burton carried the story in 2013 about Andrew Holness, right? House and land that Andrew Holness owned, and the justification in terms of speaking to the source of how Andrew, right, got his wealth. Andrew's explanation, right, was known to be misleading. So then, in other words, he wasn't telling the truth as it relates to his real source. Mortgage that he claimed that was used to build his big house. Investigation was done and that was not found. But let me tell you something, people. This is what Jamaican people need to know. And Jamaican people might say, every time Byron come, Byron I beat this. But we go further, we go deeper, because we want result. SSL is not going to be a 9-day talk. Right? We are go further and we are go deeper. We are go to the core of the earth. The core. Yeah. The metal we are going to. So then, Andrew Holness, what Andrew Holness did, Byron Jamaica selling with me. All right, Mr. Monica. Now, so what I want to speak about here, right? Zara Burton, the professional person, and I'm going to show you. You understand how professional Zara Burton is. So Zara Burton brought out the story, and the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, as usual, being the big ego, decided to sue Zara Burton. Yes, people, because he claimed that Zara Burton acted out of malice, and what Zara Burton was saying is not true, and it seems like Zara Burton would be spreading propaganda. Jamaican people who want to know, open their ears and listen to me tonight. Guess what? Andrew Holness did not win that suit, that lawsuit. Yeah. And it left with the settlement. Listen, people, listen keenly. It left with the settlement that Zara Burton owned the rights to rebroadcast it. People, listen, read between the lines. The Prime Minister brought Zara Burton, sued Zara Burton, but the court settlement is for Zara Burton to rebroadcast it. Simple meaning, and that is one of the reasons why we still have it on YouTube, because the Prime Minister could not prove that Zara Burton acted out of malice, and so then Zara Burton investigation is truthful and without malice. So people, what that tell you? Before I go into that, I am going to play the clip with Zara Burton speaking about it, because you know, so when Mystic Sensation come, we come with the evidence and we show people the evidence. You understand? So no politician can go around and talk about, you understand, we have propagandized them. We have the evidence. So people, stay on and see for yourself.
Question why the security minister don't travel.
Okay, why the security minister don't travel? People want to know, go put me on trouble, you know. You understand? You don't know how we know already. Why he can't travel? You understand? But me wouldn't travel neither if me in position, because I don't want to get locked up. Let me say it there.
Okay, welcome again to everyone, those who are recently joining. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much for those who are recently subscribed. Really appreciate each and every one. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and share that this one.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a great guest for you now. Her name is Zara Burton. She's the founder of Global Reporters for the Caribbean, and she's also the lead reporter for 18 North Investigations. Zara, it's been a long time. Welcome back to the Young Turks.
Yeah, it's been a long time and a pleasure. I mean, I think some of you viewers know the background that, you know, we both started Young Turks way back together at some point or another, and you've done a really fabulous job of making it grow. So it's really great to be back.
Thank you. It's probably been over a decade since you've been on.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're doing great journalism. So tell us what 18 Degrees North is.
The name, by the way, is the geographic coordinates of Jamaica. And so 18 Degrees North focuses on investigative journalism that is important to the Caribbean and of importance to the world, even though it comes from the Caribbean. And so we'll do a lot of stories based on political corruption. We'll do a lot of stories based on environmental degradation. We have stories that are related to, for instance, the offshore companies being registered in some of the Caribbean islands. That's a huge business for certain individuals in the Caribbean. But then there's, of course, the corrupt aspect, whether it's Russians who are hiding their money there, that kind of thing. So we do a lot of stories that impact the world, but just happen to be here in the Caribbean.
Zara, it's hard enough to do hard-hitting journalism in America. There's this mythology that, oh my God, America has this great free press. But in reality, in my opinion, politically, they basically work for the establishment. And but there's wonderful journalists here. There's great journalists that have tremendous courage that do work in places like Russia and China, where they're oppressed. So since a lot of the audience is not familiar with how the governments deal with the press in the Caribbean, how has 18 Degrees North been received, given that you guys do hard-hitting journalism and sometimes investigate corruption? Normally governments don't like that. So what's been the reaction?
Oh, well, our prime minister, the current one, he sued me. That was the reaction. I did a story on him being, well, his big house. And this big house, you really asked the question, how was it paid for, especially given the fact that he was basically a lifelong politician. And this house was millions of US dollars, supposedly valued at. And so the questions I raised were along the lines of, okay, where did he get this money? And because I raised those questions, I was sued, and we had to go into mediation, and it was essentially resolved under confidential terms. But the truth is that I reserve the right to rebroadcast. The thing is up on the internet, on YouTube. And the station here, which is TVJ, when I submitted it for rebroadcasting, they actually decided against rebroadcasting it, even though we won the right to rebroadcast it. So, you know, I have some problems with press freedom because I think we even have a higher ranking than the United States does. But the truth is, in the same way that you sometimes second guess your ranking, I second guess ours too.
So same the world over, you know, you challenge power and you're going to have issues. Well, I love that you're challenging power. So I want to actually juxtapose it because you work for the press here in America, including for Bloomberg News. But before we do that, so where can people find out more about 18 Degrees North? Where can they get your journalism if they want to see that story and others?
Well, that story right now is up on YouTube. So anybody can go and just Google Andrew Honus's Big House, 18 Degrees North. That investigation will come out. You can have a view of it and leave a comment or two and see the kind of journalism that we do. Now, in terms of the investigations newsletter, it's 18DN for 18 Degrees North, but it's 18dn.substack.com. It's a newsletter. It's a paid subscription service. And by the way, the reason that we've gone into a paid subscription service is from a standpoint that when we did, for instance, the Big House investigation, immediately before we went to air, just the teaser alone, our sponsor bailed on us. And so the financial implications are also quite pertinent as well and harmful to investigative journalism. And so because we kind of wanted to tidy up this being beholden to, let us say, company interests or to political interests, it's not that we won't do business with them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I would prefer a model, we would prefer a model whereby the individuals, the citizens, the residents, the diaspora, they, if they're interested in what it is that we're doing, they will support our journalism, the kind of journalism that we bring, which is independent journalism.
And look, it's the same the world over in terms of financial incentives, disincentives, and pressures. So you used to work at Bloomberg News. There was a story out about a week ago saying that they buried a story about Chinese leaders and their houses, literally their mansions, their money, because China said we'll kick out Bloomberg News and Bloomberg from all of China. And Bloomberg mainly makes his money from Bloomberg terminals and had a ton of money at stake. So they spiked the story. But what's your experience in the Caribbean overall, not just Jamaica, because you guys cover the whole Caribbean, versus when you were here in the US and you were an anchor for Bloomberg News?
Controversy was not something that was my MO at Bloomberg TV. I have to be honest about that. So that is not something that I had any experience with at all, being in television while at Bloomberg. What I can tell you is one of the things that really caused me to do this was when I saw Mr. Bloomberg running for president. And there was an interview, I forget which outlet it was, but the point is that I was really surprised that he didn't promote the idea that his news organization should cover him independently, regardless of the situation, for the betterment of the United States in terms of journalism coverage and that kind of thing. It was more like, you know, well, these reporters, they do need to kind of be careful and know that where their bread is buttered. And I thought it was like not cool.
How long have you been doing 18 Degrees North now?
Okay. So there we have the facts, right? The Prime Minister sued Zara Burton, and we know the end result of that, right? Zara Burton is still rebroadcasting that. Simply means what does that say? Anyway, we are going to move on. And so then when you see even the press in Jamaica not want to dig into that. Now, Andrew Holness, remember, publicly stated that if any Jamaicans, right, witness any corruption with the government, should free to speak out against the government. This is what Andrew said. This is what Andrew said.
If it's a different government other than him.
So when I talk about Animal Farm, you must understand that Andrew Holness is Napoleon the pig. All right. Now, when it goes against his government, he tried lawsuit, he tried this, he tried that, right? And so then, obviously, this is not someone who we want to take us to becomes a republic. In fear of how he's going to use certain legislation to craft our constitution, right? In putting laws, right, to avoid certain investigation. We can't have Andrew, this government, any at all, from Darrell Valls, go right down to every single one in his cabinet, right? And let me assure you that if this SSL investigation should go through thoroughly, don't be surprised of some of the possibly members of parliament names that will be rolling out of SSL. Remember, you have heard this on Mystic Sensation. Remember, people, that you have heard this. Now, so we are going to go into our big topic, our main topic tonight, one that I, really put a lot of emphasis in to understand, right, certain intricacies. Now, China has become a powerful economy, right, in the global space. Now you are going to hear about BRI. What does that mean? The Belt and Road Initiative. The Belt and Road Initiative, as it relates to what I called it, based on how China is moving throughout the globe. Let me see the name that I call it, because I write a name for it. I research and I write a name for it. So the name that I wrote for it, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, is a strategic. You're not going to find this definition anywhere. This definition is based on me putting it there based on my research. It's a strategic, geopolitical, and economic bargain chip. You're going to understand why I call the BRI a strategic, geopolitical, and economic bargain chip. I'm going to explain something to you, to all, briefly, people in the local and in diaspora. China have worked years upon years as it relates to their GDP, bringing surpluses upon surpluses, making themselves into a formidable economy, right? A global force to reckon with. Today, China, right, is one of the strongest economy, if it is not the strongest. Let me properly say that. Because United States of America, who we believe is the strongest economy, right, based on their market size, right, owed China over $13 trillion. Now, you hear about IMF, International Monetary Fund. Jamaica owed $760 million. And you heard about China. Jamaica owed China $3.6 billion. Now, Andrew Holness is not the government who started to deal with China. We have been dealing with China from 1972. A lot of people will have concern to say that China is up to certain, sort of have some ulterior motive in terms of, these loans that they offered. But what sort of ulterior motive China have? The ulterior motive that China have already achieved it. Becomes the economic giant. Already achieved. So for people who fear that China has some geopolitical, ulterior motive, so that if war break out, they can use certain position and blah, 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 you understand, to attack United States or to attack the Western, blah, blah, blah. All of that, based on my research, is foolishness. Let me say that outright. China will not make a move to use military might and defeat its purpose that he has already winning. That doesn't make any sense. China has already winning the game and on top of the game. So then, why would I use military might? China will not do that. Before I say any further, because this is a wonderful topic that I am going to dig into and let people understand, I am going to play a clip for you to understand as it relates to what China had done, right, and the mission that China is on, and then we'll come back into the discussion. So, honey, please play it.
Okay. All right. So, let me just share the screen here. Welcome to everyone who's just recently joining. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys.
This is Jamaica, a country that people think is half heaven and half hell. However, in this complex place, China only spent 3 years to open up mountains and roads, helped them build a highway from north to south. After the completion of the highway, the driving time for local people from south to north will be shortened from 4 hours to 1 hour, bringing great convenience to local people. The $760 million project was financed by Chinese sources, and Jamaica won the highway without spending a dime. The local people hope that with the help of China, Jamaica's economy can recover as soon as possible. But for this project, some countries believe that Jamaica is walking into the China debt trap. So what are the facts? Jamaica is one of the island countries in the Caribbean Sea with a total area of 10,991 square kilometers. As of 2021, the population will only be 3 million. People think Jamaica is half heaven and half hell. It is described as a paradise because the scenery here is extremely beautiful and it is the best choice for vacation travel. As for hell, it refers to the country's backward infrastructure, and foreign companies are unwilling to invest here, which makes the country's unemployment rate extremely high, and at the same time, the crime rate is also extremely high. In the process of independence, the country also experienced complicated tests. It was colonized by Columbus, Spain, and Britain successively, and it is still a member of the British Federation until now, however. Although Jamaica has been a member of the United Kingdom for 300 years, Jamaica seems to be neglected, and the development here is far less than that of the United Kingdom. You may have a question. As a member of the British Federation, why doesn't Jamaica help Jamaica expand its infrastructure and revitalize its economy? In fact, as early as 1966, Jamaica had the idea of building a North-South Expressway, but the plan has not been implemented. There are two reasons. The first one is that the area is located in a mountainous and complex terrain, making construction difficult. The second is the high cost of investment. For Jamaica, which only relies on tourism to support its economy, the government cannot afford this amount of funds. As a member of the United Kingdom, Jamaica also proposed a loan to the United Kingdom for construction. British engineers believed that the road section was complicated and would take at least 6 years to complete. As for the loan, it has not been answered due to various reasons. Therefore, in 2011, Jamaica decided to send aid to China. With the opening of the Panama River, Jamaica finally began to promote the progress of national infrastructure projects, one of which is the North-South Expressway built by China. In 2011, the person in charge of Jamaica found China. At this time, it was the early stage of the development of China's One Road. As the first Caribbean country to sign a cooperation plan for the joint construction of the Belt and Road with China, Jamaica has really benefited from the cooperation between the two countries, and the North-South Expressway is a landmark project. In the past, the Blue Mountains across the central part of Jamaica caused inconvenient transportation. For Jamaica, which relies on tourism for development, the underdeveloped transportation in this area limits the development of tourism and becomes an obstacle to the country's economic development. Now China is willing to help them open up mountains and open roads, and finally cross the Blue Mountains and connect the north and the south. For people living in this country, this is undoubtedly something worth celebrating. Of course, China did not help Jamaica build the road for free, since Jamaica believes that it will not be able to repay the $760 million loan in the short term. It has decided to grant the 50-year concession of the North-South Expressway to China, and China can recover its cost through expressway tolls. Ownership of the road returned to Jamaica after 50 years. At the same time, Jamaica also leased the land along the expressway to China at a low price, which will be used for real estate development and commercial purposes. The outside world believes that Jamaica is slowly walking into the Chinese debt trap, but the person in charge of Jamaica said, no matter what others think of China, China is now helping Jamaica to build infrastructure, and Jamaica does not need to spend a penny to pay for it. Being able to obtain this expressway will make people's lives more convenient. At the same time, China has set up many large enterprises in Jamaica, and these enterprises have created more than 10,000 jobs for local people. This is obviously of great help to Jamaica's economy and business. Jamaica believes that this is a win-win development model for both countries. At least this is something that the UK has not done for 300 years. In 2013, China officially began to build this road. During the construction of the project, China recruited 3,000 Jamaican workers from the local area for training, and another 1,000 Chinese workers participated in the construction. You know that the terrain of the construction section is very complicated. The construction team has overcome the technical difficulties of landslides and crossing the earthquake zone. Advanced new technologies, new techniques and new concepts have been adopted in the construction of the project, creating many firsts in the history of Jamaican architecture. And the construction team completed the 1.5-year project volume of the Jamaica project in just 3 months. The entire 67-kilometer expressway was completed and opened to traffic in China in just 3 years, making it the first modern expressway in the local area. British engineers were also shocked by the speed of China's infrastructure. After the completion of the expressway, it starts from Kingston, the capital of Jamaica, in the south, and ends in the tourist city of Ocho Rios in the north. The design speed is 80 kilometers per hour. With this expressway, it will not only increase the flow of people and increase the employment rate, but also make the transportation of materials between the two regions more convenient. Now those who work in the two districts can also realize their wish of going home every day. In order to enable Jamaica to develop its own infrastructure in the future, China has also trained a team of 2,000 people for the country. These workers are experienced skilled workers who know how to build and maintain roads. In fact, in addition to the expressway, China and Jamaica have more plans, including a new deep-water shipping port. The investment of this project will exceed $2 billion, which can be regarded as the largest infrastructure project in Jamaica. People are looking forward to it. Although Jamaica is thousands of miles away from China, China has always been one of Jamaica's largest trading partners and sources of investment. If the port is completed, it will boost the speed of Jamaica's trade development. In addition, in recent years, China has acquired the Alpart alumina refinery in Jamaica for $300 million and then invested $1.5 billion to upgrade and expand the plant after the acquisition, which will provide more jobs for Jamaica. With the joining of more Chinese companies, they are now aiding more projects in Jamaica. For example, construction, agriculture, mining, information technology, and other fields. Chinese companies have built schools, hospitals, roads, and shopping malls here. These have indirectly driven the development of local tourism, logistics, commerce, and real estate. Now, Jamaica has announced that it will continue to cooperate with China to upgrade the road network.
Okay, so people, there you have it. So then let me deal with my discussion as it relates to the entire research that I have researched on this thing. So this economic tool that China is using as it relates to China doing a lot of project, right, on the global stage. So it's just not in Jamaica, right? You have roughly about 10 other countries in the Caribbean, right, that sign on onto the BRI, which is the Belt and Road Initiative. Countries in Africa, right, done the same thing, right? Countries in other areas, right, done the same thing. The reason for that is government try to seek a cheaper loan from lenders. So the BRI and the IMF, they do the same thing, right? They will lend money and set a particular interest rate. However, the IMF interest rate is higher than the Chinese interest rate. And we have been dealing with China from 1972. The question, was this a good deal? My response, yes. It was a good deal to the fact that, you understand, the interest rate, right, is lower. So that is a good move by the government. You understand, dealing with China. Does China have ulterior motive to take over Jamaica? I will say no. But even although I say no, listen this as it relates to history and what we know happened to other countries. The BRI that China is using can be a death trap for countries who are corrupted. People, listen me keenly. The BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, can be a death trap to any countries where their government are corrupted. And then China will succeed more in that status when the government is corrupted. Why China will succeed? When the government is corrupted and unable to pay their debt, what China will do will take over entities in their country, right, to pay back the debt. Whether it may be minerals, rich minerals, or whatever that China can get, you understand, their hands on to make sure that, okay, right, the loan being serviced. For some countries fail because of the corruption. Reason why that is important in terms of our discussion. Remember what China did for us. China did not do it for free. These are loans. So when a government is corrupted and interfering with the loan in terms of directing certain money to their personal use, their pockets, through nepotism, cronyism, and skullduggery, all of that rests now on the back of taxpayers. We have to pay back that. And so then it becomes a burden with inflation. Inflation going way up there because the money is not spending the way how it ought to be spending. Let me give an example of one particular project. The Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay. You have seen that is now budget overrun. Corruption upon corruption. X amount of corporate budget that been set have been exceeded, and all know that cannot be finished. What causes that? Possible corruption, don't. And so then, who is going to pay back that? Taxpayers. And then the ripple effect. For us to pay back the debt to China and to IMF, China, where we owe the larger amount of debt, $3.6 billion, we have to what we call fiscal discipline. Right? The government has to maintain what we call fiscal discipline. What does that mean? See, it requires that the government maintain fiscal position that are consistent with the macroeconomic growth. To this end, it warrants avoiding excessive borrowing and other debt accumulation. Right? Mystic sensation, this is the written words can be erased, not so with spoken words. Government failure is always used as an excuse for government expansion. Government thieves and cruises and incompetence. UK up. Yes, Delroy, same son. That's it. Yes. So then, why we are serious when it comes to government corruption in Jamaica? We are very serious with this as it relates to Andrew Holness-led government. Because if we cannot pay back our debt to China, then automatically we may end up lose our sovereignty. That is plain and simple. If we cannot service our debt, particularly paying back the loan to China and IMF, obviously, that is where it becomes serious. So then, when you see the teachers and civil workers, right, asking for more pay, and the government is now explaining the difficulty in terms of understanding the debt burden that they have and why they only can pay this. And while we understand that, we see Nigel Clark has done something contrary now to that, giving the judges 100 and plus increase.
But remember that for the teachers, it was like, take it or leave it. Take
right.
it or you won't get it.
For the teacher, exactly. And so then we are wondering, what is going on? How could this be? Because we understand the mountain of debt that we have. And if they are being careful to say, okay, all right, we have to stay on our, in terms of reducing our debt our debt. We have to stay on a certain fiscal discipline to do that. And so then we have to increase productivity as it relates to GDP, which, I mean, based on what we are seeing, we are not doing well. And so then because we are not doing well with that, what we have to do? The road that China built, let me explain it, for over $760 million US. That road should now be utilized for it to pay for itself. But it is not being utilized, you understand, and paying back the debt accordingly. And so then, because that sort of fear, what happened? We have to now give up our wharf to China. We now have to now be giving other things to China. We have to now giving up certain lands, prime lands, to China. This is where now it comes complicated. Let us look right. Cockpit Mountain. What is there? Important minerals like bauxite. So this is now where the situation now gets serious. Right? Because we have to protect our cockpit. We are not going to give it up so that China can go there and deal with its mining for us Jamaican to service our debt to China. This is going to damage our natural water habitat. So then when the government is corrupted, the government action is now putting back the Jamaican people partially in slavery. So I want Jamaican people to understand where I'm going with this. Please, it's just straightforward and simple. When we said the government need to maintain fiscal discipline in terms of paying back the debt. But what we are seeing that the government seems, as it alleged with the SSL situation and the various corruption, the NHT tax money, remember that the NHT money are tax monies that collected from poor people to build house for us.
Gone in SSL.
A portion of that money gone into SSL. And so then, where that is concerned, over 9,000 people being fleeced. So when we look on what China is doing, the debt burden that we have as it relates to China, and seeing that we are handing over certain items to China, like the wharf, right? Mainlands, right? And other things that we are handing over, we are telling Andrew Holness, we are saying to Andrew Holness, limit your greed to the cockpit mountain. It's your government responsibility to deal with productivity in the Jamaican army economy space, because we are depending so much also on tourism. Let me talk about things tonight. I'm going to talk about things tonight. And so then why tourism, as according to them, because we know that remittance has been doing more than tourism as it relates to, you understand, those dollars going back to Jamaica, remittance is more. But tourism, as it relates to Jamaica, is our #1 foreign earner. But the truth be told, is all of that money circulating in Jamaica? This is where the problem lies. Right? This is where our problem lies. Because our debt burden is much more than what we are producing. And we are not having that fiscal discipline. People may not say physical discipline. I mean, I want nobody goes Some say physical discipline. When I say physical discipline, the word I'm talking about is FISCAL. Get it? Fiscal discipline. Right? So then, one need to understand that the government must operate in such a way to increase productivity. Simple means, look at our agriculture. What is the government is doing? You understand? And I spoke about this on the previous clip. To identify the Jamaican small businesses and with their innovation. You understand? Because we are doing representational politics to see how much you can expand your economy and try to see if that innovative skills can lend to small business mind. You understand? To move them from sole proprietor into might be a huge company. You understand? From micro to macro. You understand what I'm saying? So that, you know, you have so much production going on. Turn on the engines of production as opposed to privatizing everything. And then what you look now, the PSOJ, right? For most of these corporate people, particularly tourism, majority of the money that we make from tourism, which tourism is using the Jamaica resources, majority of that money is not going through the banking system to benefit Jamaica. The problem that we have again is that as much locals are not getting a chance of the pie adequately. You understand? That they can have a livable income. Because, again, the primary lands being, how should I put this now? I mean, political kickbacks to their friends and families, and the list goes on, and stifle Jamaica lifeline in terms of production. So the big question here, as it relates to China, because, listen, it is not like China, right, was out to claim Jamaica sovereignty. That's not the case. China is doing what China does as it relates to building their economy in a very large way. You can't blame China for that. You can't blame China for that. And utilize their method in a very effective way. So there's no way that you're going to look on China as the enemy. Right? China has been helping Jamaica from 1972. People research it. China has been offering help to Jamaica from 1972. And you are going to tell me from 1972 until now that China is still offering help. Jamaica is not able to keep the engine of productivity. So all of them are talking in them budget speech. Right? How much is it that Jamaica is producing? Right? Jamaica is not producing that heavily, and that is our problem. Right? And so then when you have an Andrew Holness government coming out, you understand, and line on the report to make it look good and make the government look good, while the people are realizing the natural inflation that they are facing. So regardless of how they pretty it up and sell you and package it to you, you are not facing that level of articulation where them send through the budget to convince that Jamaica is doing good. You are seeing the actual inflation. When you go to buy a bread for, say, $150 last week, and when you go next week, you see $130, $170, $200. That is the real inflation eating on the ground. right? And so then what is happening here? Because I'm confused. Here on one hand, Nigel Clark is explaining to the civil workers that, look, Jamaica is in a situation that we can't pay these money, right? Because we have to maintain fiscal discipline, right? And we have to make sure that we are servicing our debts. And if we do this, we are not going to be able to service our debts. But in the same breath, I am surprised now that Nigel Clark is now raising the judge's salary more than 100%. So what is it the government saying to us? Because this definitely look like totally a mixed message. Totally a mixed message. And then, what is the real reason behind it? That the judge salary is being hiked to over 100%. Is there any ulterior motives in that? We will see. What about the drafting of the new constitution? Why did Nigel Clark make a move like that? So having the situation as it relates to China debt burden, you understand, which depending on Jamaica fiscal discipline, if that debt burden is going to become a China debt trap. Because as I said, we have seen other countries fall under China debt burden that now becomes a debt trap for them. The difficulty in them paying back the loans to China, and then China have to operate this, take over their minerals, doing this and doing that. So then in extension, China automatically own the country for that period. You know that the road infrastructure, the highway that China built, you understand, is in possession of China for 50 years. You understand what I'm saying? For 50 years. And the way how Jamaica is behaving with the level of corruption and corrupted politicians, are we going to survive that debt burden? So people, when we are here talking about corruption and the leak out from the government, you people who dieted and want to maintain the dieted status, you understand the thing say, okay, we are bash Andrew wholeness. And we just depend on Andrew so, and we now left off a GLP. People, wake up. Honesty and integrity matters for a government to have good governance, stay on fiscal discipline, and avoid corruption. So then, if we don't have a government like that, it is that it appears that this government is doing their endeavor best to send us back into slavery. I cannot say it any better. Because we are not maintaining that fiscal discipline. We are not maintaining it. And so then people need to understand these things. That this is not about party. And let me warn you, Byron is not PNP. Byron is not GLP. Right? Byron is a Jamaican. And of course, I read UIC mandate, and UIC have some good mandate based on what I read and mission statement. I love it. If they could get some seat as well, that would be good. And then we have a more checks and balance system. You understand? Because what we need this time to save Jamaica are people with brilliant ideas. And if some of the brilliant ideas can shared by UIC, some of the brilliant ideas can shared by the People's National Party, and also brilliant ideas shared by the Jamaica Labour Party, what we need to do is to work together. Whether you are JLP, PNP, RUIC. So people try to get what Mystic Sensation is saying.
Jamaica first.
We want to put Jamaica first. The reason why I am vying for the People's National Party, and I spoke time and time again, is as a result of democratic socialism, what it stands for, building our nation. And I am no way, shape, or form in support of capitalism, the philosophy of Jamaica Labour Party. And so then that's my reason. But people, let me say this. If there are good talents in the Jamaica Labour Party, we need to work with it. If there are good talents in the People's National Party, we need to work with it. If there are good talents in UIC, we need to work with it, because we are talking about putting the nation first. So our politicians who believe that they are entitled for people to vote for them because it seems as if they are doing something personal for people. Politicians, members of parliament, you want to get this straight on their head. So if you have that sort of thinking, they have a paradigm shift. Because you are here to serve the people.
The Prime Minister is the chief.
When we talk about voting in a member of parliament, the reason for us to do that is for that members of parliament to represent us. So there is no member of parliament, now let me tell Darrell Vaz this, me to tell Darrell Vaz this, that you don't believe that you are take out your money out of your personal pocket, or you are using any money from your salary to assist Portland people. It's simple, Mr. Darrell Vaz. If the people are not getting their representation, then to hell with you, Mr. Darrell Vaz. To hell with you. And for Jamaica, as it relates to the white populace, if you are not seeing a government that is going to deal with checks and balance, a government that is going to explain its wealth, a government that mingle with corruption, a government have no discipline for a pig-like fellow like Mr. Warmington, then away with that government. We want a government that can explain to the people. No, we don't want somebody like Delroy Chuck who is going to boast how Jamaica is paying the judges the highest salary in the Caribbean. The highest salary in the Caribbean. When one, we have poor healthcare system, Mr. Delroy Chuck. Two, education is out of the poor people's hands. Three, people crippled by high inflation. Four, poor road infrastructures within their communities. Right? High crime rate. Right? Citizens are not safe in their country. Come on. Nepotism and cronyism apparent in this government. And finally, SSL corruption that tends to be delayed as a result of its complexity and the length of time. And the algorithm is not quite clear. So then let me ask, this is what we elect this government to do, right? To delay investigation, to try to control the judges, and try to determine a particular ruling should we stand and abreast a government that bent and continue corruption? And for some members of parliament who believe that, okay, if they can't get to recommend and influence contracts to contractors, they don't feel that their service makes sense within the government. How would that, Mr. Darrell Vaz? That is something that you need to explain. You don't understand. Huh? The Jamaican politics should not be a game of gaps that one can ease in, right? For the purpose of corruption. We don't understand that. Why the reason why I'm saying that? For the very same reason that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, right, set up 5 companies and install a director there, Gavin, to be a director, and awarded contracts to Gavin, over $28 million worth of contract go to Gavin. And as according to the procurement rules, these contracts should be in the open for them to be done. So while we are doing all of this, right, Chinese money being borrowed cannot be what? Properly accounted for. We have seen COVID money cannot be properly accounted for. What is going on? What does government want to do? Does government want to send us back in slavery? I'm just asking the question. Huh? We are not maintaining fiscal discipline as it relates to where we can increase our productivity and reduce our borrowing. That is what the aim of a government should do in terms of nation building, moving forward. So then, what the government do? Depending on big projects to drop so that they can overcharge, right? Exceed budget. And all of that money, where it goes? In their pockets. And who to pay it back? Taxpayers? This is madness. It can't continue like that. Cannot continue like that. So then, Jamaica, this is what I'm saying. That when we said we are holding the government accountable, you have to understand the importance. Please understand the importance, whether you are GLP, PNP, UIC, or any other party that is out there. Understand the importance that what we are doing here, we are talking about putting Jamaica first. First. Right? You have seen our Jamaican kicked off certain land space. Right? It's not supposed to go so. The very same set of people who vote for you and represent you, you turn around and walk on top of them. Walk on top of them. And if you see as a member of parliament that in a constituency you have been voted for, what are you doing to improve the life of the constituency? What are you doing? Eh? So what we are saying to you now, members of parliament, no Jamaican is not begging you anything. It's either you are going to do your work or you leave the office. It's either you are going to do your work, sir, or you're going to leave the office. And you should have no entitlement that people must vote for you. You must be voted for strictly performance and only on the merit of performance that you shall be there. And so then the people have to decide, like the people in Portland, how many years that they are living without water, how many years that they are living in misery. Then you must know if you deserve that. And so then the people, as I said, who you voted for, they are not doing you any favor. They need to do their job. They need to do their job. They are put in there to represent you, and that is their responsibility. Right? Why the reason why we vote for you when you cannot improve the constituency? It is you who said you have the vision to lead. It is you who say you have the ability, the capacity to lead. You said you have the know-how to move Jamaica forward. So when time people voted for you, then why you not exhibit what you have sold us and the campaign trail? Why you don't do that? But you are there on the campaign, right? And you are going to do this, you are going to do that. And you tell them all sorts of promises that you have promised the people. And when you are there now, oh, you have reached, right? You don't seem to remember the people again who put you there. That is not the way how the politics are supposed to work, right? That is not representational politics. And that is what we are defending, nation building, right? So it's either you can do the job or you can't. If you can't, go. And it is time now, let me say, Jamaica, for persons who are running down power and they have no form of academical background. Class is full time now, many of us stuff and put dunce to lead. And that is one of our main problems. You understand? Because if persons are not aware of their function, how are they going to lead with example? We have seen members of parliament, right, who have a particular faculty, put in other areas of responsibility that I have no experience of. So how does that work? That doesn't make any sense.
Learn on the job.
Because if I am in an airplane, right, to taxi down the runway, and when me look, me see a carpenter, right, go into the pilot seat and I take out the pilot. Me I come off of the plane there, you know. Yeah, me I come off of the plane there. Because I'm a carpenter. Me don't know him as no pilot. And we are get that for over 60 years now. This is foolishness. So then, that is it for me. I think I have spoken as much in saying to us Jamaican that we are to be positive in terms of what we are defending. Right? And we must seek for representational politics. And we must not believe, right, that we are begging politicians for something. Right? We need to tell the politicians that they need to do their jobs. Or we are going to use the mighty finger. It is we who put them there. And we are going to get them out. So let us go into the chat and see how much I can interact with some of my people. All right.
So welcome to everyone who recently joined. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you to everyone who has been here from beginning to now. Thank you. Thank you for those who have come and gone. Really appreciate each and every one who visited our platform.
Definitely.
Okay. Let me just see. All right, let's start from here. So
Kenroy, I see the press run with what happened at the PNP headquarters, but not with what Warmington do. And that is it, Kenroy. You see, and this is it, right? for a press who cling to a political party and is not there, you understand, to provide the facts. And then the thing is, as it relates to what happened, that what they had reported on is now proven now to be false. We have seen Andrew Holness, and let me just give the people a reminder that when it comes to the land in St. Catherine, right, the whole capture land processes, that Andrew Holness came out, right, without investigation, you know. And this is what I talk about, the egoistic behavior with Andrew Holness. Full of ego. Full of ego. Came out and accused Klansman gang, you understand, to have capturing land, right, and selling lands illegally. Andrew Holness did that. And then, after it was investigated, guess what? Someone like the principal who is very close to Andrew Holness, Andrew Holness associates, is the person who is guilty. You understand? To have been selling these lands. To have been selling these lands. And yet there is Andrew Holness came out prior to investigation. You understand? And called out Klansman gang. And then the Klansman gang is the principal who acquainted to Andrew. This is not the only thing that Andrew did. You have seen Andrew has taken this dread, what the rest peanut dread in Parliament and want people to be peanut dread to become a role model. Right? Want peanut dread to become a role model until what happened? Peanut dread caught and video. You understand? Cursing out women. I am saying all of this to say that when it comes to integrity, it is very, very important for a government. And when I see a government lacks integrity or moral base, the result of these things, these sort of behavior, that coming from that particular press, this sort of behavior that is coming from Andrew, totally lack integrity. And so then it is important, as I said, for a government to have integrity. Let us go into the chat again. You see how he gave the judges high wages so he can have them in his front pocket, or whatever that is. Okay, so well, to be honest, I don't know the reason as to why he had given those judges those increases. But whatever the reasons are, I'm just saying that the judges should maintain their moral order, right? And don't be influenced as it relates to corruption. That's all I'm saying. I don't know the reason as it relates to those increases. All right? But they are making it out clear that it is justified to raise the judges' pay like that. But all I'm saying in that, I mean, what happened to other civil workers? What happened to other civil workers? Right? This doesn't make any sense to me. This doesn't make any sense. But again, it is Nigel Clark. And him himself don't make any sense because nobody can understand Nigel algorithm.
Arthur was referring to
they have the WAF already. Yes, Arthur, they do. And that is one of the reasons why I'm saying that Jamaica need to have that fiscal discipline, reduce borrowing, and increase productivity. Right? Jamaica has to do that. right? It is not like China said, okay, I'm out to get Jamaica. China will strive if the government is corrupted, because the government will be unable to pay back the debt. And then, of course, China is simply going to take over some resources. And the more resources we lose, or we are going to be able to pay back our debts.
Okay, let me say this. Anyone want to use the opportunity to call in, you can do so at this time, since Baron is going through the chat.
Okay.
And the number is streaming across the screen, and it's a WhatsApp number, and it's coming up there now. So if you want to call in and make any contribution to the topic or have any burning issue, you can do so during this time.
So here, Arthur Phillips, they are dominating America's backyard. And well, guess what? As you see, that China, right, has really and truly a formidable economy. You understand? A really strong force in the global space. You understand? To reckon with. China is a powerful giant. But what are we going to do? Blame China? What are we blaming China for? What are we blaming China for? Right? Delroy, anyway, greetings, Mystic Sensation, Saturday blessings. This Prime Minister is a pathological liar. When you go low, we go high. Mystic, you are not alone. Jamaica under this Prime Minister is a failed country. Let's keep hope alive. 110% agreeing with you, Mr. Henry, right there. Okay, let us see what is going on. Chuck Life, big up yourself. You know the thing go. All right.
Okay, I read that one already.
Mystic Sensation, let me remind you of some more corruptions. Why is the reason for the Prime Minister to have 19 government agencies under his portfolio? Corruption's fertile. Time come to radom this fake Prime Minister. Well, again, based on what Mr. Henry said, it is the only Prime Minister, you understand, that have so much portfolios under his responsibility. It makes no sense. So you can see the stage is set for the possibility of corruption. That you want to in control in everything. That doesn't make any sense. They're right. This is it. The Great Depression, like most other periods of severe unemployment, was produced by government mismanagement rather than by any inherent instability of the private economy, which is so much true. So much true. Right? And so then that's why we have to be under government and making sure, right, that the government stay on course as it relates to fiscal discipline. But again, you can see that this government is operating in such a way. I am scared. I am not lying. I am scared. Now, this pathological liar's solutions to a problem is usually as bad as the problem. This fake Prime Minister receive a country ready for takeoff to become the next Singapore, and this Prime Minister and this country is trashed it. I'm telling you, it's just trust me. All right, they acting like they're not working for the people, but the other way around. Yes, Wayne, and this is what I'm saying, that the people need to understand. You understand that the members of Parliament, you understand, because that is what I'm observing from them, that they're thinking that they are doing right personal things for the people. So if they fix a road, okay, the people should look on them to say, okay, all right, a Desmond Mackenzie fix this, or a Warmington fix this, and blah, blah, blah. It is nothing like that. Desmond Mackenzie not fix nothing. A taxpayer's money fix it. And this is what we want the people to perceive it. He's supposed to. He's supposed to.
I think got the taxpayers' money
right?
too.
The government is deducting our tax, taking our money. So when Desmond Mackenzie fix a road, or Darrell Vaz fix a road, or any other member of Parliament fix a road, and uno fix it, per se, personally speaking, taxpayers fix it. And don't fool the people as if you, Darrell Vaz, or any other member of Parliament doing anything for anybody. Taxpayers are paying you. We are paying you to work. And it is our tax money is at work, not your personal money. So when you freshen yourself and make it want to seem as if members of parliament, right? You need to look on me because I am doing this for you. I am doing you a favor. You are not doing one Jamaican a favor.
Doing your job.
Edward Seagat did not do Jamaica, not one Jamaica a favor. None. Members of parliament are doing their job as they're supposed to do because you are collecting our taxes. It is our tax money, our money fixing that. Our money fixing that. So we don't want to come showcase yourself as if you are so important and you have the level of entitlement that if we don't vote for you, we are going to be punished. You're out of order. You're out of order to have a mindset like that. Crazy. Let us read. Very sad. These people do not love Jamaica. Most people around the world love their culture and country. Well, I mean, look on it. Look what Delroy Chuck, you understand, standing up bossy that okay, Jamaica is paying judges the highest salary for judges. Is that something to brag? And it's a shame and disgrace. Can our economy afford that? To pay judges that? Other Caribbean countries that are better than us. You understand? Their economy are far way better than us. Their healthcare system far way better than us. You understand? They are not paying their judges that. To show you how Jamaican members of parliament are corrupted to the core. Look at what the people are going through. And Delroy Chuck happy. You understand? Any money coming out of Delroy Chuck pocket to pay these judges? I want to ask Delroy Chuck and Nigel Clark, you understand, and the Jamaica Labour Party government, if any money coming out of their personal pocket, you understand, to pay these judges. Taxpayers' money. Taxpayers' money. You are asking us to tighten the belt tighter. That is what you are asking.
But their increase coming soon. This is just
paving
the way for their increase.
And then, exactly, paving the way for your increases. So we are now going to set our ears and listen for politicians, for members of parliament increase. We need to hear that. If you are going to get 100% increase as well.
Judges get 133, they will get 150.
So how do you care for Jamaican people? When you are asking the Jamaican people to carry more burden on their backs. How do you care for Jamaican people? And that is one of the reasons why, you know, you see Bruce Golding, I have a level of respect for Bruce Golding. So let me tell you something, Delroy Chuck. And let me tell you something, Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark. Do you remember? So Bruce Golding take a cut in salary and ask members of parliament to take a cut in their salary. Do you remember that? Mr. Delroy Chuck could have brags out Jamaica to pay their judge the highest. Do you remember what Bruce Golding did? Bruce Golding have a conscience. But uno set a politician dog, no conscience. Uno have none. Uno a slave driver, an oppressor, suppressing the poor people. Because just imagine the level of inflation that these people are facing in Jamaica. And you are going to add more burden and have the audacity to brag and smile and talk about Jamaica is paying their judges the highest. Is that something to brag about? Why me not hear you brag about Jamaica has the best health care in the Caribbean? Why you not brag about that? Why you not brag about Jamaica society? You understand? Is one of the safest in the Caribbean. Why you not brag about that? But you're bragging about you suppressing the poor. The poor people them a crawl upon them face in Jamaica. And you are going to have more pressure on that. Sending the middle class beyond the poverty line. That is what you are doing, and you are bragging about it. And Nigel Clark is lying about it. 6% increase. Like people are stupid.
That's according to his algorithm. When he
Well,
works on the math, it's 6%, but when
based
he
on his
works it out, it's
algorithm.
133%.
Oh, I never remember his algorithm. You know.
His algorithm is using. So his algorithm is 3 plus 1 is equal to 2.
Okay, his algorithm is 3 plus 1
equal to.
You know, see, you're troublemaker.
But I how
But you don't like that the algorithm they might use to true. You want to like that the algorithm they might use to true. Mystic sensation, our biggest fear is not expressing the truth, but that we will attack or belittled because of speaking the truth. Mr. Keep up your good work. Much appreciated. UK shout out. Blessed Mr. Henry. I always appreciate that, my boss. So this is what I'm saying. No care for the poor. You understand? The poor man has struggled with the big rock of debt. You understand? Can hardly find food. And you are now going to add more weight on that. And remember, more weight plan to be there as it relates to members of parliament pay. They are going to increase the pay. The commissioner of police, Google Gaga, getting 18 million a year. To do what? To do what? To do what? And we have seen that you are now putting, you understand, your friends and alliances in Senate seats. We've seen all of those things, you know, as to what you are doing, you know.
Clueless to the job.
You understand what I'm saying? So how do you care for poor people? This is how you care for poor people. This is really how you care for poor people. Pressuring the poor, pressuring them. And the only thing that you can do for poor people is to pressure them. Wear clocks and step on them. My boss, continue wear your clocks. All right. He's setting up the judges to do his bidding when he calls on them to further oppress the people with more draconian laws. They will not turn against him. Well, boy, no tourism dollars will get Jamaica up from under these enormous debt. It's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Right? And then what the tourism space is doing, you understand, is taking away, you understand, the little man food. You understand the crafts being selling in the hotel. You understand the little t-shirt with Bob Marley and Ray, blah, 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 being selling in the hotel. I mean, so the poor man livelihood get cut. You understand? Nobody not see that. No matter about all the tourism and they want to pretty it up. The tourism sector is doing a good job still. Well, guess what? Mixing, I am not saying that the tourism sector is not doing a good job. Mixing, what we are saying here, that we know that the tourism sector supposed to have the largest employment in Jamaica. We know that the tourism sector is generating most of the foreign currency as it relates to Jamaica. Right? But we know that remittance is more than that. Doing better than tourism. The point that I'm making, Mixing, is that for the majority of the tourism dollars being generated as a result of utilizing our resources in our geological space, I am saying the majority of that money, where is it going? That is the importance, you know. Because the truth be told, Mixing,
Pay the people, the workers, little or nothing.
yeah, the truth be told, Mixing,
the money goes to their country.
tourism works well in Trinidad too. Tourism works well in Cayman. Tourism works well in Nassau. How do those countries, right, process those hoteliers as it relates to how much money that generated within their country can leave their country?
What percentage?
What percentage of that? So when we talk about tourism doing good, what is doing good when we can talk about tourism? Employment?
And the people not getting much.
No, if you're talking about
No
employment,
benefits.
let us talk about it then. Because employment, come on, what sort of pay grade the people are getting?
And no long-term benefits.
Right? What sort of pay grade? You have some hotels mixing that people are working 6 days a week. Right? And not being paid accordingly as it relates to overtime paid. So that's another suppression. People are working 6 days a week and not being paid overtime paid. In some hotels, like Sandals chain, the employee are asked to wear big name tag. Please do not tip me. What is this? What is that? Big name tag. That is a method of slavery. Big name tag. Please don't tip me. You tell me, first world country that practicing tourism and other countries in the Caribbean, are they wearing this name tag? And let me tell you something where I don't know. Jamaica Sandals have that, and the government agree with it. So Sandals, Barbados, that ship can't go on over Sandals, Barbados. Where Sandals, Barbados workers wear that pin, don't tip me. Why is it different in Sandals, Barbados?
Same chain.
If it is the same chain, than Jamaica, because Jamaica government licky. You understand what I say? In Sandals, Barbados, right? They couldn't allow. Let me tell you something. When we talk about benefit and tourism are going good, right? What are the goodness tourism do? Employment. Look here. Jamaica, as it relates to its geographical destination, right? 18 degrees north on the global map. Let me tell you something. We have the natural resources and our culture. Why most of the time Jamaica is heavily visited than any other Caribbean countries. So this has nothing to do with the performance of the minister. I don't know if that's where you're going mixing. This has nothing to do with the performance of the minister. Our natural resources and our natural communication to those tourists, right? The tourists come for the culture. And so we give them culture, entertainment, all of that within the culture. So then what I'm saying, if Edmund Bartlett leave the Ministry of Tourism and any other persons being there, tourism will strive without Edmund Bartlett. You understand? Jamaicans are naturally talented. Right? So we just need to get that. All I am saying, the amount of money that these hoteliers are making, how much of that been circulating in the Jamaica economy that benefiting our Jamaican people? Remember, the resources belongs to us. It no belongs to a hotel manager. It no belongs to a hotel owner who don't even bank in Jamaica.
From Jamaica.
And who is not even from Jamaica. So then if that is our position, right? Someone who is not from Jamaica, operating a hotel, using our resources, right? And banking the money elsewhere. How does that tourism go on good? How does that benefit Jamaica? Right? We get one little piece of the pie, and we say it go on good. We want more of the pie. The name Jamaica sells itself. Exactly. Yeah? Exactly, Jaro. Right? The name Jamaica sells itself. So Edmund Bartlett, you understand, is not influencing the progress of tourism. It survived without Edmund Bartlett. Remember, if we do the history as it relates to we dealing with tourism, you understand, tourism in Jamaica has been performing before even Edmund Bartlett. Right? So then let us go into the chat again. The Jamaican people are doing better educationally and economically without all these tourist dollars. We have regressed in progress. Hear that? Right? Remember that, of course,
When agriculture was there.
When agriculture was booming.
And our dollar was more than the US.
Right? And our dollars was more than the US. We have that time in memory. We have that time in memory. Tourism wasn't there at that time. Tourism wasn't there at that time.
Agriculture.
Right? And that's why we can't put tourism as the main focus to drive Jamaica economy. Every day I come here and I'm speaking the same thing. We are going to get a beating. If the government put too much emphasis on tourism and using tourism as the main driver, that is where we have a problem, people. Our agriculture should be our main driver, some innovation. And that's why politicians, these members of parliament, they are not innovative. They are not innovative. They lack that. And so then we need to have politicians, you understand, whether you have skilled persons from the JLP, skilled persons from the PNP, skilled person from the UIC, you understand, putting them together to make our political process becomes formidable, right? To push us forward, we need to stop and play the politics. All right, so the Jamaican people were doing, okay, we have read that already.
Yeah, I think that's the last comment there.
Okay, so that is it, and I am going to thank you once again for listening to Mystic Sensation. We all appreciate for the passing through. And of course, I'm going to hand over to Wifey as it relates to Jeopardy. Jeopardy people, big up on yourself, love on your body. All right.
Okay, thank you, Baron, for another very insightful discussion. And I hope people are listening and understanding what is really going on, and, you know, really thinking about and looking on and trying to process and reason and rationalize out what is happening in our country. It's not just to come and say, oh, they're partisan or whatever. That's not what it's about. It's about moving Jamaica forward. And all I'm going to say is a word to the wise is sufficient. People, we need to wake up. We need to wake up, put our country first in the interest of our children and our children's children. We cannot emphasize that enough.
And let me finish that, people, Jamaican people, we need to put Mark Golding in the driver's seat, right? To make sure that our country build on the motive of integrity. And that's my final word for tonight. All right.
Okay, and we must also remember that the UIC is there for those who are still in between the two major political parties. There's a third party out there. Look into them. We need to level the playing field. Okay, so look into them as well. They have good plans for the country. I know we are not a people that readily accept change, but we need to start embracing change and stop swapping dog for monkey each time. But we'll see how it goes. And I'm encouraging everyone out there on election day to just go and vote. Don't stay home and say that I'm fed up with the whole politics. Politics affects us every day of our lives because these are the people who we put there to represent us. So whether we want to turn a blind eye, yes or no, it's still affecting us. So please, when election time come, go out and exercise your right. We put them there, we hire them, we can fire them. Okay, so we are going to go into Jeopardy.
Hold on. Mixing. So Byron and I.
What?
Oh, mixing. Byron and I pray that Mark Golden is the answer. Mixing, you know, let me tell you something, mixing. Me myself I pray too. Now liar. Right? And let me say this, mixing. That we only can, try. But one thing I know for sure, mixing that YouTube, social media is here. And if Mark Golden believed that if he becomes the person in the driver's seat and in any way, shape, or form, he's not moving towards nation building, Mystic Sensation is going to be the first one to burn him out. Because as I said, I am not PNP, I am not JLP, I am not UIC. I am talking about we need to put good governance forward. Without portion want to come from PNP, a portion want to come from JLP, a portion want to come from UIC. Right? I don't have a problem in terms of Mark Golden in that driver's seat based on what Mark Golden did and his effort to make it right. One of which I can speak about an impeachment clause that Mark Golden want to put in to hold politicians accountable on that basis. Right? Mark Golden represents democratic socialism, something that I fundamentally love as it relates to the driver for nation building.
It's slowly you see it mixing it as
right?
faster than the Titanic.
And so then, whatever we can do in the diaspora and with the help of locals as well, right? We are going to fight for Jamaica. Because no doubt, I will tell people that Jamaica is on a life support machine. A life support machine. And we are not seeing. Mystic praying alone will not make Mark the PM. People power will go out and vote. Delroy, thank you for that. And as on hear what Delroy said, people, right? Don't stay in. Go out, right? And vote. We need to see the back of this government. For all the clear and obvious reasons that we have observed. On a year, Delroy Chuka brags about us paying judge, right? Paying judge, you understand, the highest. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, so you can see that the mentality. How much does he care for poor? He shouldn't even make that come out time out. You understand? There's nothing in that to brag about that you are going to put this pressure on poor people back and you're laughing as if you take it is just so sick.
I wouldn't say laughing, he was just being a proud peacock.
Being a proud peacock.
Fanning out his feathers.
Being a proud peacock.
Just push up in chest and just fan out his feathers.
He should be one of the peacock that the president choose for left that alone. Well, and that is what I'm saying. Right? That is what I'm saying. So, all right, without any further ado, I'm just going to hand over to Wifey for Jeopardy. All right.
Okay, guys, so we are going to go into Jeopardy. Thank you to everyone who's been here. Thank you for everyone who came and went. Really appreciate everyone's support. We are, let me just get up the template here. So we are vying for credits. There's going to be 5 winners. Person with the most points get $1,000 Digicel credits, Digicel R flow, and then there will be 4 follow-up or 4 runners-up who will get $500 Digicel R flow credits each. All right, so let me share the screen, and remember the questions are in the form of a statement, and you respond in the form of a question. If it's a place or person, if it's a place, then you answer what is or where is. If it's the name of a person, then you answer who is. And also, hold on. So you answer who is, and also for the start, we're just gonna throw out a category and for how many points, and the first one that I see, then we will start with that, and then whoever answers the question correctly will then choose the next category and for how many points. Yeah. Robert says not a raise of pay, it's a bribe. Okay.
Indeed. Indeed, I like that.
All right, so the categories for tonight is Jamaican schools, reggae/dancehall artists, Jamaican dance, Jamaican general knowledge, and Jamaican proverbs. I know Empress wanted some questions from our previous videos, but I wasn't able to get into doing that. All right, Mixin said, let's do this. All right, so Tiffany saying schools for 500. All right, so Jamaican schools for 500. This high school on Camperdown Road in Kingston is the Sprint Factory of Jamaica. So this high school on Camperdown Road in Kingston is the Sprint Factory of Jamaica. It's a like music at all. Underneath can I get a pen, please?
Jump it there.
Sure. I want to slip out.
You want to use this?
No, I don't like that one. I prefer the other one. All right, so people recognize the clue in the question. All right, so I see the answer that I am looking for. I deliberately put that clue in there. So it is Camperdown High School. I said it's on Camperdown Road in Kingston, and it's the Sprint Factory of Jamaica. So what is Camperdown High School? So let's see who first came in with the correct response, and that is for 500 points. Okay, so it started there. Oops. My goodness, why I keep jumping. So first on the board with the correct response is Jamfet. Then Mixin. Empress, welcome, Empress. Happy Friday.
So that's Jamfet. What the points?
500. What Mixin not agree with? And me not agree. Welcome, Julian. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining in. Really appreciate you being here. All right, so Jamfet is saying artists for 500. So let's do artists for 500. Now down here. Hot. He was accused of shooting the deputy. He was accused of shooting the deputy. He was accused. He was accused of shooting the deputy.
I said, I always tell lie upon him, man.
All right. So I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is, who is Bob Marley? Said he shot the sheriff, but he's not taking the responsibility for the deputy. He didn't do it. All right, so that's for 500 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let me just quickly refresh. Okay. Fluffy Diva, welcome. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining. Tiffany said, where is Ricardo? All right, so let's see. Oh, first, you know what? Let me make sure I look properly first, because I don't want anybody shouting at me in any tone of words. Mixin, who is Bob Marley, for 500 points. So Mixin is on the board, and he's already chosen already, man. Confident.
Mixin was one.
500. And Truck Life also came in with that. Then Jam Fed, Fluffy Diva,
Mixin on the board.
Tiffany, Julian, also on the board. Mixing nimble fingers tonight. May I tell him fingers really nimble tonight. Truck Life say yes, and make sure. Tiffany said backside, both at on the board. All right. Oops, I still have that up there. Sorry. Let me just. Oh my God, how so far up is that? Okay. All right. So Mixon is saying schools for 300. So schools for 300. From Caribbean islands, Guyana and Belize, this school was born. From Caribbean islands, and the islands are Guyana and Belize, this school was born. Or from the other Caribbean islands as well, Guyana and Belize, this school was born. Which school is it? It's a tertiary level school, not a high school. It's not secondary level education, tertiary. All right. And I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is, what is the University of the West Indies, UWIP? Fun fact, it was established in 1948. So that is for 300 points. So that is for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let me make my finger nimble like more fast, because they might run or leave me. All right. Make sure I don't miss anybody. So first on the board with the correct response is Truck Life.
All right. General upon the board, I know. Yes, Truck Life.
Truck Life.
How much that?
That is what 300
What
points.
do you mean?
I tell us that I know they never come off good at all. Then Jam Fit, Mixin, Empress, Fluffy Diva, Molly. Okay, and that's the that's how the answers came in. All right, so Truck Life is saying schools for 400. So let's see. This high school for girls on Constant Spring Road in Kingston is the home of phenomenal women. So a lot of very successful women came out of this school. So this high school for girls on Constant Spring Road in Kingston is the home of phenomenal women. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So no delay, and it is, what is Immaculate Conception High School? right? So for girls, so Immaculate Conception High School, and that is for 400 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Right, so it started there. Mixing.
Oh, mixing. Oh, I want tonight mixing.
Immaculate. So
Much
mixing, and that is for 400 points.
Well, mixing, but tonight.
And him shout it out twice.
You're there.
Then Tiffany, Molly. Just seeing if anybody else came in. Okay. You jump and say them quiz are too Kingstonish, you know.
Mixing and operate a 5G them.
May I tell you, him start out him finger problem. All right, and mixing is in schools for 200, so it's keeping it schools. This school has the most ISA Boys Championship titles. Sorry. This school has the most ISA Boys Championship titles. Which school is it? All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is Casey?
Hey.
What is Kingston College? So fun facts, 33 championship titles accumulatively, so they have a total of 33, and 13 consecutively from 1964 to 1967. All right, and that is for 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. That was for 200. Nimble fingers on fire tonight. May I tell you, Tiffany, Empress around jump for time bed. Hey Baron, I said them I got tired for see my face says mixing.
Mama tell you mixing.
Tiffany said the game is not for country girls like her. All right, so first on the board with the correct response is Jamfet, and that's for 200 points.
Okay.
No, Tiffany. Okay, Tiffany says Casey there. Then mixing. Fluffy. Oh no. Tiffany again. She wrote it all out. All right.
And so the score as it is: Chuck Life on 300 points, Jamfet on 700 points, mixing 900 points to spare.
All right. So Jamfet is saying artist for 400. Yes, artist for 400. The artist that preaches no one got gut, no one got belly. Okay, the artist that preaches no one got gut, no one got belly. And remember, name of a person or title that the person has taken onto themselves, you have to start with who is, or alias or whatever. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is who is Tiger? And that is for 400 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Jamfet for 400 points.
What?
Then Mixin. Yeah, Mixin, Tiffany, Empress. Mixin said through phone stick. Must be at work. Verona, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining in and saying, what is, we have to say who is because he's, it's his alias.
Okay.
Jump and say you're mixing. I said, no, this not safe. Okay, mixing. Choose, and for how many points did he choose already? Did I miss it? No. Who just got it? No, Jamfet. Jamfet is to choose. All right, dance for 500 says Jamfet. All right, Jamaican dance for 500, and it's a double point answer. This is very suddy. Name the dance. This is very suddy. And it's a double point answer. So whoever answers this correctly is gonna get 1,000 points. Maybe this connecting will get better. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. What is shampoo? Now I learned something. I didn't even know that there was a dance called shampoo. All right, that is for 500 double. That's 1,000 points. I tell you. All right, let's see who first came in with the correct response. All right, so first on the board with the correct response is Truck Life.
What?
I tell you.
How much?
Truck Life is more.
How much for that?
1,000.
For Truck Life?
Yes, it's doubled. So
for the bus.
And then Mixing, then Tiffany.
All right.
Verona, I saw none of the answers.
Okay. So the score as it is Mixing
Verona.
900 points. Jamfet 1,100 points. Truck Life in the lead 1,300 points.
Got Truck Life on fire. I tell you. He's saying dance for 400. This dance legend had an untimely death in January of 2005. This dance legend had an untimely death in January of 2005. And remember, if it's the name of a person, it is who is. And I see the answer that I am looking for, so I am not going to tarry.
There you go, don't tarry.
Who is or was Ogle? All right, that's for 400 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. So Mixing, sorry, you would have gotten it, but you have what is. Remember, name of a person is who is. Truck Life also blundered, so Jamfet.
Jamfet in the lead for that. How much,
so that is for 400 points. Then Truck Life came back to Uzbogle, Tiffany. Then Mixing, the horror forget it back, but body fingers, them I give him a fight. Then Verona, Empress, Molly, Central. Okay. All right, so Mixing? No,
yeah,
Truck Life.
Jamfet got it.
Jamfet, Lord Jesus, yes. Me, I confuse myself. Sorry, Jamfet. Jamfet, choose the next category and for how many points? And pour down on me. So he's saying dance for 300. What you gonna say, what you gonna do? Name the dance. What you gonna say, what you gonna do? Name the dance. Jamfet said, what is ha? No, Mixing, you need to put back your finger them on the manners because your finger them start mess up again. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for. And remember, guys, we don't mark for spelling over here in this with Jeopardy unless we're definitely doing spelling. All right, so what is stocky? And that is for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Intent with that. Oh my God. All right, let's see what they've been putting in. So Truck Life, what is stocky? And that is for...
How much for that?
400. Oh, 300 points, sorry. That is for 300 points. Since what is stinky? As is his finger, you know. Then Daniel also Empress, Fluffy, Tiffany, Verona. Chocolate, I've tried to correct the spelling there. And Daniel also came in mixing say kiss me teeth. The phone here, may I go show it to a hush. Then Fluffy also came in with Stucky. Daniel said, me first. Daniel, refresh. All right, let me go back up and look again to make sure I am not all mixing. No, refresh your screen, Daniel. You're going to see yourself coming in first unless you refresh. All right, so Truck Life is saying dance for 200. That's a Truck Life where you get stuck to from. All right, so dance for 200. This is a well-known Chinese cuisine. Name the dance. This is a well-known Chinese cuisine. I learned something there as well. This is a well-known Chinese cuisine. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Oreo Cheesecake. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for joining in. All right. Let's let the people know them dance. Whoa. All right. I see the answer that I am looking for. And what is stir fry?
Stir fry.
You didn't know that one?
No, sir.
So that is for 200. All right, let's see who first came in with the correct response. All right, so that's for 200. So let's see. So Oreo for 200 points. Oreo. Then Truck Life.
So the score as it is, Orion 200 points, Mixin 900 points, Jamfet 1,500 points, and Truck Life 1,600 points.
Jamfet said, what is Pop Chow? Mixin also came in with stir fry. Mixin know him dances, you know. What? Tiffany, although him have a video with him dancing, can manage himself, man. Can help himself. And Daniel, Verona, like him used to dance in a high school, me not telling a lie. Then Fluffy, Magwan, man, Magwan, him a happen.
Okay. All right, Mixin, yeah, happen.
Molly said, what is chow mean? Daniel said, what is roast and fry? No, sir. All right. Biscuit, all right, let me see. Who's to choose again? Oreo. So Oreo, general knowledge for 300. You can know who Oreo is. Okay, so general knowledge for 300. Okay. This happened in the year 1692. I didn't say 1962. Pay attention, people. This happened in the year of 1692, and it's a double score answer. So you're going to get the 300 points added, and then your score is going to be doubled overall.
Wow. And
it's in Jamaica. All of this is based in Jamaica. Every question that I'm asking is Jamaican-based questions. So this happened in the year of 1692. Boy, you can't whisper, sir.
Okay.
All right, and I see the, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is the Port Royal earthquake. So that happened in 1692, and it's 300 points plus doubling your overall score. So let's see who got the lucky person there. Let me just refresh. All right, so 300. Well, the biscuit cake who invite you, welcome. Empress, let me set her up. No, Empress. All right, so Fluffy Diva, what is Port Royal earthquake for 300 points, and then you double, yes, so 600
So
points.
Fluffy Diva?
Yeah. Then, oops, Fluffy. Mixing, so what is the Holocaust?
600 points. All right.
Then David, he put earthquake, but he put Port Royal, and then Empress, Truck Life, Tiffany, she said Port Royal song. Oh, wait. Jamfet, I said I got it. Wait, let me jump past Jamfet. Sorry, Jamfet. It's Jamfet, sorry. Sorry,
Jamfet?
Fluffy. I made a mistake. Yes, it's Jamfet who got it. So 300 points added to Jamfet. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Jamfet. I overlooked that one. I should have gone up a little bit more. My apologies, Fluffy.
Okay.
No,
So
Fluffy. If once you put the answer in, it's gonna show you coming first. But if you refresh the chat, then you will actually see the order in which the answers came in.
okay, so the score as it is: Oreo on 200 points, Mixin 900 points, Short Life 1,600 points, and Jamfet 3,600 points.
Sorry, Empress, I didn't get much time to go through them because when I do the video questions, then I have to really sit down and go through some of them that I'm thinking of. But I'll try and make it up. Okay. All right. So Jamfet, choose the next category and for how many points? Did he choose already? So choose the next category and for how many points? Okay, artist for 300. All right, let's see. This artist was bullied by Danny and his little brothers in the ghetto. This artist was bullied by Danny and his little brothers in the ghetto. Danny take a people me can't carry no tuners without a little part. Nope. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. And it is, who is Baby Sham?
And who gets it?
Who is Baby Sham? All right, so first on the board with the correct response is Oreo.
Oreo. How much points?
300. 300 points.
All right.
All right, so then Tiffany also got Baby Sham and Mixin, but him finger them nimble bad. All right, so that's the order in which the answer came in. So Oreo, choose the next category and for how many points? Oh my goodness, hush, Empress. But Baby Sham song no recent? Not old. Okay, so general knowledge for 400. The first European country to arrive in Jamaica. The first European country to arrive in Jamaica. Name the country. And that's for 400 points. The first European country to arrive in Jamaica. And I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is what is Spain, the Spaniards. All right, so let's see who first came in with the correct response, and that is for 400 points. Let me just refresh. Jamfet, what is Spain? Everybody come in with Spain. Spain, no, mixing, Oreo.
How much is that?
400. Truck Life. And I never do history at school.
So there you have it. The score as it is. Orion 500 points.
Daniel.
Mixing 900 points. Truck Life 1,600 points. And Jamfet 4,000 points. Why Jamfet has stretched the lead.
I tell you, Tiffany and Empress that they are gripes, so they're too young for these questions. Fluffy also came in with Spain, which is in Spanish. All right, so Jamfet is saying general knowledge for 500. According to Bob Marley in his redemption song, we should emancipate ourselves from. According to Bob Marley in his redemption song, we should emancipate ourselves from. Right, and this is what we have been saying. All right, and I see the answer that we are looking for. What is mental slavery? Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. And that is for 500 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let me just refresh and see. And Jamfet also tells so him stand a chance with Proverbs too. Me can't manage. It's Tiffany. All right. So Oreo, what is mental slavery?
And how much points for that? For Oreo?
500.
500 for Oreo?
Yeah. And then we have Jamfet. Sunshine say old time Sinting come back again. Love it to test them Jamaican card. May I tell you, a lot of them are losing Jamaican cards right now. A lot of them losing them Jamaican cards, Sunshine. Daniel, so what is stress? Okay, so mixing. Fluffy also came in mental slavery. Daniel, Molly, she got the mental. Verona. Mixing to somebody take Jamfet phone there. Also Fluffy, mental slavery. Julian, mental slavery. Okay. All right. So choose the next category, Oreo, and for how many points? Tiffany said I want the answer. She know our phone freeze. Hush. All right. So Oreo is saying Proverbs for 200. Big blanket. Finish that Jamaican proverb. Big blanket. Finish that Jamaican proverb. Okay, Empress, no problem. Sorry. Empress to them because they're too old for her. Oh my God.
If Empress said them that,
I tell you.
I'm gonna ask something yet about Alexander the Great.
What is what? Catch mangoes? All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. So big blanket, make man sleep late. Let me have a question inside here. So big blanket, make man sleep late. And that is for 200 points. So let's see who came in with the correct response. Make sure me not miss anything up there. So, and that's for 200 points. So, Fluffy Diva, 200 points.
Fluffy Diva.
So just switch that
200?
to, yeah, just change that to 200. Yeah.
All right.
Tiffany McMahon.
So the score as it is, Fluffy on 200 points, Mixing 900 points, Orion 1,000 points, Chuck Life 1,600, and Jamfet in the lead 4,000 points.
What? All right. So Fluffy, choose the next category and for how many points? Jamfet said, but pressure bus pipe mixing.
All right.
Pressing metro one. Fluffy says 500 proverbs or 500. No matter how cockroach drunk, and that is a double point answer.
Oh.
So no matter how cockroach drunk, finish that Jamaican proverb. Tiffany said backside 4,000 already. No, sir.
and this going for 500?
Yep.
Double that, 1,000?
1,000 points. No matter how cockroach drunk, what is them always hungry? No matter how cockroach drunk, all right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it's the lady who said she got back and watch our movie.
Okay, Empress.
Those Empress are good away. All right, so I see the answer. It says, no matter how cockroach drunk, him now walk past foul yard.
No,
Can't no say if he walk past, he gonna get near him. All right, so no matter how cockroach drunk, him now walk past
that's
foul yard.
Empress with 1,000 points?
Empress with 1,000 points. But let me just refresh first in case I missed anybody.
Empress back in business.
Hold on. Let me just make sure. Mistake twice. Okay. All right. So Empress and then Fluffy Diva got it out. So now walk past 40 yards.
So the score as it
Empress,
is, Fluffy Diva on 200 points, Mixing 900 points, Orion Empress on 1,000 points, Truck Life 1,600, Jamfet 4,000 points in the lead.
Answer that, you know. No, it's just finish, complete the proverbs. All right, so Empress, choose the next category and for how many points? Okay. Empress says Proverbs for 300. Oops, close up back. Proverbs for 300. Me come here for drink milk. Everybody run out, skip out, jump out, roll out, but don't creep out, or else you'll get left behind. So me come here for drink milk. Complete that proverb.
Anybody creep out, they're not problem.
So what is my baby? All right, and I see the answer that I'm looking for. Me come here for drink milk, me not come here for count cow. All right, and that's for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. All right, Jamfet cut the short, say, no count cow. And Fluffy say, no come for count cow. It's not to count cow. What is me no come for count cow? All right. That is coming for drink milk. No count cow. All right, so actually Jamfet did not complete the proverbs properly. So what is not come for count cow? So Fluffy actually got that point, and that is for
What Fluffy said?
not come for count cow.
Okay.
But Jamfet only said not count cow. All right, so that is for 300 points.
300 points for Fluffy.
Mm-hmm. Then, not to count cow. Then Oreo. Mixing. Okay. All right, and also Julian also came in with the correct response. Yes, he didn't complete it properly, Oreo. I agree. Yeah, but Fluffy got that. Empress said no debate. All right. So Fluffy's in Proverbs for 400. I got 300. Okay. So Proverbs for 400. Mischief come by the pound. Complete that proverb. Mischief comes by the pound. So complete that Jamaican proverb. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. So mischief come by the pound and go by the ounce. All right. So let's see who first came in with the correct response, and that is for 400 points. Okay. So Oreo sound like Ricardo. What is and go by the I think this was a typo for Oreo. And then Empress is and go by the ounce and go by the ounce. Oreo corrected herself. So I think we're yeah, I know Oreo, it was a typo, so Oreo actually got it. So
Okay.
instead of go, accidentally change it to how.
So how many points?
400.
400?
400 points for Oreo.
So the score as it is, Fluffy and 500 points. Empress and Mixing on 900 points. Empress 1,000 points. Oreo 1,400 points. Truck Life 1,600 points, and Jamfet on 4,000 points.
You listen, her. Of course, you don't know what Oreo.
No one, Ricardo.
They too, I mean, big head, them a look all him come and look so.
Of course.
Ricardo said, I'm sorry for my truck life. When he said, then we laugh, sip on Jamfet. Oh my goodness, it's not easy at all. All right, so Oreo, aka Ricardo, choose the next category and for how many points?
Tricky one, come check.
Empress said, Mr. Oreo, you couldn't say a mistake. Laughing. What's Strickland said? Boss Ricardo, we saved all the 100 questions for you. All right, so school for 100. This school was named in honor of Jamaica's first national hero. So run out, skip out, jump out.
Do all of them out there.
A pupali coat. and the answer. All right, so that is for 100 points. The school was named in honor of Jamaica's first national hero. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is Marcus Garvey Technical High School. If you don't have the technical on it, that's fine. It's Marcus Garvey Technical High School. Oh, chat is blanked out. Right, it's back. And that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Oh, Joe said, I'm frozen. Oh, sorry. Refresh and then come back in. So leave and then come back in. I wonder if she's hearing. All right. Empress, and I quote, Oreo is not Ricardo.
Mhm.
Empress, Oreo is not Ricardo.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. Truck Life is saying Oreo is Ricardo, and question saying, my bad, I guess Oreo is new. Welcome, welcome, Oreo. Empress said, and may I fling stone next week if I get Mystic Sensation videos. No, day I know. Okay, I hear you. All right, so first on the board with the correct response is Oreo. What is Marcus Garvey High?
Mhm.
And
That's
that
good.
is for 100 points.
100 points.
And Jamfet coming with the French Margot. Oh my goodness, me not even gonna break up my jawbone, Jamfet. And type in French.
Just-
Put your phone back in English mode.
Just say Jamford coming with the jam business.
Then Fluffy, Tiffany, Verona, no, not Verona. That is then Oreo corrected and put the technical in. Well, and then Verona, okay. All right, so that's the the answers came in. Ricardo said, imagine me there. Oh, Oreo said, don't make them know me and who Empress. Okay, so Empress have the secret for Oreo.
Mhm.
Empress know who Oreo is. Empress said, I won't tell them Oreo. All you gotta know is a true supporter. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here. As they should, Empress. Okay. And she's Oreo is saying general knowledge for 200. This mountain range has the highest point on the island. This mountain range has the highest point on the island. So the same run out, skip out, roll out. No,
Jump
don't
out,
creep
out.
out.
Creep out to get left behind.
All right. Breeze the ends more fat. Oreo is Ricardo until proven otherwise, says Jamfet.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they want to unmask your Oreo. Only one person know the true identity. Me hear your Empress, but me just have a strong gut feeling, says Mixin. Empress said, breeze the ends more fat.
Could have said I saw Ricky earlier responded to something.
Yeah, he's there. I think he's at work. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. What is Blue Mountains? So the highest peak on the island, Blue Mountain. So let's see who first came in with the correct response, and that is for 200 points. Refresh already. Okay, let's do that again. What is New Guinea? Oh my goodness. All right, so that's where it started. Jamfred, so what is Blue? Don't finish it. So Oreo, what is Blue Mountain? That is for 200 points.
For Oreo?
Oreo, then Fluffy, Diva, Chocolate, I didn't quite finish spelling the mountain, then Mixing for him, finger giving problem again. Then Tiffany, Ricardo said, don't call me name Jamfred. And Molly also came in with Blue Mountain.
5 more?
Mixing claim saying climate what day, and then him say we have to watch to know if he make it up. So we don't know if he make it up the mountain or not. I'm just stay down the bottom, look up and wish him a reach up there. Okay, Verona, then Jolene. If I do ask if Moffat never finished the journey. All right. Let's see. So Oreo is to choose the next, right? Oreo, yeah, is to choose the next category and for how many points. Oreo saying Proverbs for 100. This is something. Okay. So Proverbs 100. Chicken Mary. Everybody run out. What did I miss? Why I'm getting that face there. Okay, Verona also came in with Blue Mountain. Let's see. Molly, Tiffany, okay. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is hot the near. What happened?
Nothing to eat.
But I'm almost finished. That's why I'm come get you something.
How many more minutes? So an hour.
What do you need?
Need something to eat.
Hold on, let me give you one on. So what is score?
I don't get
Okay,
yet. All right. So what is up the near? So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Let me see. So 100. Okay, that's where it started. Okay, so what is up the near? So Oreo. That's 100 more points for Oreo. Then Jamfet, Empress, Fluffy. Tiffany didn't put it in properly. It is beer near. Okay. Molly. Julian, but she forgot what is. Verona. Forgot what is as well. All right. So Oreo is saying general knowledge for 100. Let me reveal that and then I'll write down the answer. The score, sorry. The longest river in Jamaica. The longest river in Jamaica. Run out, jump out, skip out, roll out. Where does he? Oreo. 100. All right, and I see the answer that I am looking for. So let's reveal. And what is Rio Minnow located in? Clarendon. What is Rio Minnow? And that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Chocolate said, who is this Oreo person? Oreo on fire. Go Oreo. Okay, so first on the board with the correct response is Jamfet. The spelling is off, but we know it's real. Mino is putting in then Truck Live. Jamfet corrected it. Mixing. Fluffy saying, go, Oreo, you're on fire, I'm telling you. Then Molly, Empress. What is real Mungo Jamfet? Oh my goodness. Mr. Ray, who get it? Jamfet got it. So that was for 100 points. Okay, so 100 points to Jamfet. All right, so Jamfet, choose the next category and for how many points? We know that it's a phone messed him up. I'm not seeing your comments, Empress. Okay, and may I go message you, check your app in. I have something important. Okay, all right. Soon check it. All right, I'm seeing it. I'll have to check it on the other one. All right, so Jamfet, choose the next category. You only have 2 categories left. Ricardo said, Byron. That's no. Oh, see your pen here. Oh, he said dance. I missed it. Sorry. So dance. So the last one there for dance. The dancers needed to form a ring. What's the name of the dance? The dancers needed to form a ring. What's the name of the dance? The dancers needed to form a ring. What's the name of the dance? And it's a modern day dance, one of those ones that they make up, not the traditional dance of maypole or anything like that. It's one of these modern day dances that they do. All right, let's see.
How much questions left?
Only 2. Oh my goodness, this one is not working with me at all. Okay. Okay.
Ricardo is a real.
That's great. Boy, but tell us that we spell them around why me make you see it. That's not enough copy of a people had. Oh Jesus. All right, let me see if the answer is there. Oh, Jesus, I thought it was going to be easier than that. Mr. Baron can whisper. May I tell you? And all the time I don't tell him don't whisper, but he still try whisper.
That's what I tell him if you tell me nothing.
All right, let me see what's going on in the chat. Okay, no. All right, let me see if somebody may have gotten it. If not, I might have to give you a clue. I thought it would be easy for you millennials. All right, so it's the word starts with, did I give the start or the end? It starts with crazy. So finish it. The dance is crazy. It's 2 words. It's one of the modern dances. It starts with crazy. The first word is crazy. All right. Now not talking. What jump in? All right, so it is crazy hype. What is crazy hype? And that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. All right, so first on the board with the correct response is Truck Life for 100, crazy hype. Then mixing, I guess Jamfet was what he's put crazy horse, Oreo, Tiffany, Empress. Ricardo said it's not modern. Well, I don't know. I thought it was modern because I didn't know it. I didn't know it growing up, and I only encountered it earlier this week. I didn't even know that there was a dance that I had to look to see what it was about. So I am learning as well. It's a Baron of old fridge.
Can't keep them nothing impressed.
Okay, Verona also came with crazy hype. Or yes, which part of that? Well, I let out the puss out of the bag. I guess the pussy that crop the bag too much. Okay. Empress and Baron, you had the frost.
Tell you.
See you, Baron.
No,
all
keep
right.
no ice.
So, Truck Life, choose the next category and for how many points did I miss it? Okay, he's saying 200. So there's only one category left. I am Mr. Universe. Name the artist. I am Mr. Universe. And I tell this, me have to do my homework. Because some of them I had no clue. Oh, this one not come up yet. These two not come up yet. I am Mr. Universe. All right. I see the answer that I am looking for. Non tarrying. So let's reveal who is Skilly Bang. Okay, she corrected it. Thank God. Because now I realized that she put what, but she corrected it. Who is Skilly Bang? So that is 200 points. I guess he sing a song about Mr. Universe or whatever. So it's I am Mr. Universe. So that's for 200 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. I say, oh, what kind of pangarang? I'm going to put myself in there, you know. Myself in a pengeling. But she corrected it. All right, so Fluffy Diva, who is Skilly Bang. So that's for 200 points.
I'm not sure.
Empress. Okay, I was 100 point lead, so she's safe. So Fluffy is my Empress and Fluffy is my bestie. Tiffany. Okay. Yes, bestie. Fluffy come out and stunting this week, may I tell you. All right, so we only have one category, one question left there in the one category, and is they call him the lyricist, vocabulary physicist, and melody Michelangelo. So they call him the lyricist, vocabulary physicist, and melody Michelangelo. Who is he? And that is for 100 points.
Right, it's your answer already?
Miss
Goodness. Trust me.
Miss
as a queen.
I see the answer, but something that if I get to finish reading it the second time properly, I doubt if me read it the first time properly before I start through. So, who is Vibes Cartel? So Vibes Cartel, and that is for 100 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response, and the board is clean. So Let's see who first came in with the chocolate. Who named Jatel Moffat? Let's say Moffat's fingers them and give him a big fight. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see who first came in with the correct response. Try to see where it starts. I think that's where it started. Okay, Oreo. Who is Vibes Cartel? So 100 points to Oreo. Then Mixing said, who is Jatel? Me no know nobody name. So chocolate. Chocolate, I hurry to a mess up. Cartel. With Vibes Cartel. Empress. Fluffy. Okay. Go Oreo. Fluffy say Oreo in. All right, so we have come to the end of Jeopardy, and the Baron is tallying the scores. So congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to everyone who made the board, and great sportsmanship. And thank you to everyone who participated. Really appreciate the continued support. So, Chocolate, so no need some milk. No, thank you. I don't want to rob the baby. The baby can't stay with that milk.
Okay, so the score, as it is, coming from 5th place, making the board is Mixing with 900 points. Empress, 4th place, 1,000 points. Truck Life, 3rd place, 1,700 points. Oreo, 2nd place, 1,900 points. And Jamfet, the big man indeed, 4,100 points.
All right, so
Right.
Jamfet has been wide awake.
Wide awake.
Okay, and Truck Life is a Oreo needs some milk. Oh my goodness. Say push through Oreo. All right. Congrats to all the winners, says Tiffany, even though I don't win any Mother's Day credit. All right. Don't worry about that, Tiffany. All right, again, so happy Mother's Day weekend to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day when it comes on Sunday. Hope everyone will have a wonderful Mother's Day. And kids, make sure you give your mom extra special treatment, and also to the dads out there who are playing the motherly role, and especially to all the single mothers who are holding it together. Hats off to you. Much respect.
All right.
Because it's not easy. All right. So again, congratulations to all the winners tonight. Empress is saying same number as last week, 846 Flow.
Okay, hold on. Empress.
Orion, I need to give me a digits. May have all of your digits them already.
8464.
Okay, you want the 538 flow for Oreo.
Oh, Oreo 5384.
I'm saying switch it up this week. Yeah, 538 flow.
538.
And Verona is saying have a great night, everyone, with your all credit.
Bless up yourself, Verona.
Bless up, Verona. Have a wonderful, restful weekend and a wonderful and productive week. Thank you so much for your continued support. Really appreciate you. And Mixing is saying to his 880, and that is
Oh,
Digi.
for Mixing?
Yeah. Digi's,
Okay,
Mixing is
Mixing.
Digi. 880. I have a Jamfet.
DG.
Where Jamfet want to go already, and I also have Truck Lives.
Oh, okay.
Number.
So
So
no-
nothing Fluffy did win, you know. No, Fluffy only had 700.
700 points.
Fluffy has 6 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Fluffy is 6, only 700 points. Okay, and Empress is saying Happy Mother's Day to you when it comes, Tiffany.
All right.
You say here Oreo. Sorry, I mean Ricardo. Boy, Baroness, but Ricorio.
Courier.
All right, and Chocolate for salute. Fluffy as 6 boss. I'm sure know the flames. Julie said, good night, everyone. Good night, Julie. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful and restful weekend. And about that, my hand caught that retype. Okay. Because I not get nothing. No, Osh Fluffy. Yeah, you made it to the board, but it's the top 5. The person with the most points get the $1,000 credits, and then the 4 runners up get 500 credits each. If you're number 6 and beyond, then better luck next time. Thank you so much for playing. Great sportsmanship. Really appreciate you. It's a okay superstar. Maria said that's gonna be my new name, Ricorio. Oh my goodness. All right, so again, happy Teachers Day and Teachers Week. Happy Nurses Week and Nurses Day to all the nurses and teachers out there. Really appreciate your service. And thank you for your contribution to nation building. Shortlife is saying, well done by Mr. Barron each and every week. Yes, thank you so much, Shortlife. Really appreciate that. And Empress is saying happy Nurses Day to you. And thank you so much, Empress. Fluffy saying thanks for having us. Love the vibes. Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it. It's Friday night. You could have been doing something else, but you've chosen to be with us, and we do not take it for granted. So thank you. And to all the new subscribers who have recently subscribed to the channel and joined the family, welcome, and thank you for your support. And Mixon is saying, great live as always, my friends. Thank you so much, Mixon. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to having you in the studio with us again sometime. Yes, Mixon. So taken them by surprise earlier, don't it? Yes, you did. All right, so guys. All right, so Tiffany's saying that she's going to plug in her phone. So guys, I am going to bid you all good night. And again, thank you for your continued support. I have work in the morning. It's 10:22. So I am not going to be staying. So again, thank you so much, and have a wonderful and restful weekend for those who are not going to be working. And for those who are working, I hope work will not be too hectic for you. And have a wonderful and productive week. And we must reach into the studio. Yes, Oreo. Let's hope one day we'll reach in the studio in live and living colors. All right. So have a wonderful and productive week. Stay safe, stay blessed, and safe travel on the gravel. Until next week. Bye. See you guys.